Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, it is Sunday night, and we are live, L-I-V-E, from MWF Studios, downtown Melrose, Massachusetts, in the zip code of Champion 02176. Hope you are well. Hope you had a very Merry Christmas. We will use the C word tonight on this show. Happy holidays to those that celebrate other holidays. We're Christmas people. I got John C. Manikus Reilly in the booth. John C., do you celebrate Christmas? All right, he's a Christmas guy, too. And we're waiting on Charlie Wilson. I don't know if he's with one of his many women right now, but he did text me he's going to be on his way. I figure I'll chit-chat with you guys for a few minutes, try and build up the house a little bit as we get ready to watch Starrcade 1998, an interesting event that many feel was the death of WCW, or the beginning of the end of WCW. I know my friend, the late Bobby Heenan, certainly felt that way. We certainly don't want to give away any spoilers if you've never seen it before. The link should be in the description box below as far as getting to the link to Starrcade 98 on WWE Network via Peacock. That is the version we're going to watch. If you guys watch it another way, feel free. I don't know if it's going to line up with the with the WWE Network version. Let me put it in the chat for you too. WWE Network link for Starrcade 1998. Boom. All right, so you guys should have easy access to it. Matt, Chance, how are you guys? How close were you to the brain? I wouldn't call him a great friend. I'll say this. We had one phone call. It went about an hour and a half one time. And it was one of the few times in wrestling it takes a lot to get me to feel gushing, almost like a fan, but I loved Bobby Heenan as a kid. And this was when we were setting up his first appearance. And I think Bobby had a couple of zibba-zabbas, you know what I mean? But Bobby was feeling good down in Tampa. And we had such a great conversation. When we had him appearances with him to promote his book, they were great. When he appeared at the first live Soul Survivor event we had, we're coming up on Soul Survivor 10, Saturday night, April the 16th, from Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. But Bobby Heenan presented the championship to the first champion in our company's history. So you know what? I love Bobby Heenan. I was so sad not only to see him pass so young, but with everything he went through in his final years. I'm sure most folks are familiar with the fact his face, needed work done on it due to the cancer that he had. And he required his lovely wife, Cindy, to travel with him when he made personal appearances. But just a great, great, great guy. I can't imagine that too many fans didn't have a great experience with him. We were working on an event, I think it was back in 2010. And believe it or not, there was an issue with Memorial Hall in downtown Melrose, Massachusetts with Piggott, otherwise known as Jack the Clown on my cup. But it was a pretty cool lineup. It was going to be Bobby Heenan, John Cena Sr. and myself were working on a deal with Vader, who started a promotion in Japan at that point called Vader Time Promotions. It didn't last too long. Myself, Johnny, and our MWF heavyweight champion at the time, Slick Wagner Brown, were going to go to Japan for Vader's promotion. And we were going to do a DX reunion with Road Dogg and X-Pac. So I thought those were four pretty cool names to have on one event. But as usual, Piggott Mania was running wild, baby. It's Christmas weekend. Should I say what I really want to say? Or should I be nice? If John Cena Sr. was here, he'd be saying be nice. Let me check in. Oh, there he is. It sounds like Treasury. Phil DeCesare, one of our great moderators, one of our co-hosts, a man that I don't want to give too much away, but John Cena Sr. is taking a great liking to, along with Charlie Wilson. Phil is going to be joining us in studio more, and they have an idea they're going to present to the man. I can't go any further than that. Who else do we have in the room? Baboon, how are you, buddy? What day is it in Australia? Is it Monday? What holiday weeks? I totally lose track of the days. I don't know about you guys. Chance, you went to Starrcade 95 and 96. Okay. Chance, we're willing to roll the dice to have Marty come back for season 2 of Party with Marty. We have the Indiegogo campaign, going. We've got some great prizes for you guys to be able to meet Marty, to get some autographed merch from Marty. Just support the show in general if you enjoy it. It's expensive to put together. We've told you guys for a long time that the day was going to come when we run out of content, and that day has come. But, oh, wait a minute. I hear someone. Could that be Santa Claus? Or could that be his favorite elf? Oh, I see the boots. I see the boot. Oh, with the pony. What do we got going on here? The ponytail.
The arrogance ponytail.
You're really growing it out. You got a little Rick Martel action going.
Oh, Rick Martel, 91.
Party. Indiegogo for a party with Marty. Well, the fans are excited to see you. It's going to be another great Sunday night live watch along.
Hello, everyone. Sorry I'm a few minutes late. It's not ready yet to be fully out in the wild, the ponytail.
But it's starting. Now, what's that, John C? What? Turn it on.
It's on now.
It's on, baby. Just ask Harvey.
It's on.
Phil DeCesare, like Treasury, is with us helping moderate tonight.
Oh, good.
He
Good.
disappointed us, but
Good.
you know what? He has children and a life, so he was.
Unlike
He's
you,
looking forward to. No, unlike me, who was here Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
you have
right.
You have children in a sense.
I was, and I do. Yeah. Well, don't even get me started on that. I was here yesterday for about 13 hours. So
How was
I certainly
really?
Santa did not visit me here at the studio.
Wow.
I hate to say it because I don't know if they're watching, but I used the Santa Claus again on the set, and when I put it back, I broke one of the porcelain Santas. But luckily, it was a clean break,
You've got
so I was able to just kind of put it on top.
you've got heat with Santa. I'll tell you that much right now.
Well, hopefully, no one else notices until they break it down, and then they're gonna be like, "Shit, what happened to the head of the porcelain Santa?" Oh, geez. I don't know. Must have been one of the mice.
Oh God.
One of the mice tipped it over. All right, I am going to check out the. Oh, thank you, Chance. I appreciate that. Just imagine if every fan that watched Marty shows donated $1, we'd have it covered in no time, and then we'd have Marty back. Hopefully, the Marty that we had on November 13th, which I think we both agree was an awesome Marty.
Solid
that we
Marty.
wish we had every time.
Mm.
But I tell you this, before we get rolling with Starrcade, John Nord Mania is running wild.
Nord is coming back in 3 weeks, roughly. No, 4 weeks, just about.
Yeah, that's better.
But it's
You scared me for a minute.
well, he's coming the 22nd, 23rd, and oh God,
I spoke to him today. I love talking to John Nord.
I have his phone number. I should message him. I should text him.
You should. I don't really know if you're going to
texting
get
or
much
guy?
of a response.
All right.
He's got a hard, I don't think he's really a smartphone guy.
You know,
I think the Nord children should have gone with like the Target $20 flip phone. where you
the
put
track
minutes
phones,
on.
the burner
that,
phones.
that would be like what the Sheik has.
Can you imagine? I don't have any minutes left, so I got to make it
More
quick.
lot of minutes.
He does have his jaw go off to the left when he talks.
Yeah. Well, he's missing his bottom teeth, so that.
Oh God.
I don't know if you watched to entice fans to sample the show, and there'll be a new one tomorrow for episode 3. But we did a little like a preview video.
Okay.
Where John was. It took him a few minutes to process the fact that the Sheik wanted to humble him.
The last video was great. We talked about guys like Kevin Nash. And,
Yes, he's not a big fan of Kevin. or
Kevin's a
Scott
love-or-hate kind
Hall,
of guy. Those are love-or-hate guys, I notice. People sort of love him or they hate him.
You know, I think it may be jealousy with Kevin Nash. Scott Hall can be hit or miss, but I think Kevin Nash is great. I think Eric Bischoff is great.
One of the smartest guys. I think they're both very smart. All three of those guys are smart.
I used to love to get, and this is going to have to be a story for the book or an entire episode, but my late night phone chats I'd have with Kevin Nash after he'd finish off a bottle of wine.
Really?
Like 1, 2 in the morning.
Well,
yeah.
how long was this
And,
going on?
A couple of months.
What year was this? And why were you talking to Kevin Nash at that point?
2015, because we all got fucked. There was this startup group that wanted us involved, and they brought me on in the Jim Ross role.
A wrestling promotion?
Yeah, they booked 4 major arenas in the Carolinas, that piece of garbage Dylan Cage was involved. But their thought process was they were going to, before I get into where the scam came in, their idea was they were going to run the events for free to make it look good on television with no revenue coming in with it to rent these major arenas.
I mean, it's not new that companies do TV tapings for free, where they have the TV tapings and the people come in for free.
Sure, but not in a 9,000 seat building.
Yeah, right.
So, I would never give away all my trade secrets because they wouldn't be secrets, but I came up with some really great creative ideas to generate revenue. He had people he wanted as agents. He wanted the Rock and Roll Express and fucking Vader. And Vader, we've had him here in the studio, and I've said before, and I'll say it again, personally, I like him very much, but he fucking complains about everything. And when I say everything, I mean it's cloudy out, he's going to complain. It's sunny out, he's going to complain. It's daylight out, he's going to complain.
Yeah,
it's nighttime out, he's going to complain. All he did was bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch.
I have a good Vader story.
Bitch. I'd love to hear it.
Well, it didn't include me, but do you remember a pro wrestler? He's still around. He's not dead, but Bam Shaw, Eddie Shaw, he was a local worker.
Oh, Luscious Lee Bradford.
Yes. He worked on a card with Vader. And I think Vader, I believe, told him he looked fat in those boots, his wrestling boots.
He told Vader he looked fat in his boots?
Vader told him he looked fat in the boots. I don't know how, but I can only imagine Vader sitting there with that calm voice being like, they look kind of fat in those boots.
I remember he gave Uncle A like $20 worth of quarters at one event because
Uncle A?
Benny Jux.
Oh, Uncle A.
I guess, I don't know if someone bought an 8x10 from him with quarters, but they kept pulling his sweatpants down. So he gave Benny all of his quarters that he got from the 8x10.
Did he want the quarters back too?
No. He gave, you didn't want, paper bill in exchange for it. He was almost like exhausted trying to pull his sweatpants up with all of these quarters. And then he just relented and he saw a little Benny. He gave him Uncle A. And Benny said, hey.
As if Benny could hold the quarters up more than him.
Well, Benny's used to having his pants down half the way.
Well,
that's
Benny's been in some weird places and in some weird people, probably.
That's one way to put it.
And I love Benny. Benny, wherever you are, my heart is with you.
Yes, Screaming Baboon. He was going to run them for free. Well, anyway, I had 3 people that I wanted to bring in for agents. I had so many ideas for what I could do with this promotion because foolishly, I believe that there was some money behind it because I saw contracts with venues before I agreed to get involved. I saw the staging and the lighting setups and the agreements he had with the different professional businesses that were going to run the rigs for them.
And I'm sure
I didn't go into it blindly.
And I'm sure you knew there was a backer. There was a money backer.
Well, this guy wound up going to jail.
Essentially what people would call a money mark.
Yes, only there was no money behind the mark in the end.
Just a mark.
It was just a giant scam, and he went to jail. But he fucked so many people in the process. And because I was in the Jim Ross role, guess who every fucking person involved with was coming to? So the Jim Ross that also wasn't paid a fucking penny.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jesus.
What's a long story? I think it was called CCW. Was that the name of it?
Carolina Championship Wrestling, maybe? What was the guy's name?
Crucial conflict or crucial.
What was his name?
Ron Kennedy. And I hope Ron. I don't care if it's Christmas, New Year's, or whatever it is. I hope Ron Kennedy gets cancer and dies for everything that he put me through with those people because he made the mistake of making a comment involving the Little Mirades, saying how often I was going to be able to afford to take them to Disney World because of the money he was going to be paying me. Wow. So fuck him and fuck his mother because his mother got involved in this whole thing, trying to calm me down when I was ready to send people after him, telling me how his father wasn't nice to him when he was a child. And there were 70 fucking people on the hook that signed contracts to appear for this fucking asshole. And I had to deal with all of them while not getting paid to do the job.
I find it interesting. I'm not trying to offend you when I say this, that you were in the Jim Ross role when you weren't exactly a Jim Ross kind of profile guy. Usually in those cases, they try to go after a higher profile person than you. Should that have been?
I was highly recommended.
Okay.
is what I'll say.
But with Kevin Nash, you guys became friendly because
I wanted him to come in, and he was going to come in for many dates, and that didn't wind up going well
what happened there? Just the black.
because we didn't have one event.
No. I'm not talking about here in this chair.
Oh no, it had nothing to do with this.
But would you ever want him here?
Oh, I love Kevin. He's so smart
Yeah.
and intellectual, especially if you give him a little wine.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about trying to get him drunk to get stories out of him. He's just such a very smart.
Or get in his pants.
Well, I really don't want to get in his pants.
Yeah.
But, Big Daddy cool.
Yeah, not Kevin Nash. Now maybe
you could have great conversation with him about things that have nothing to do with pro wrestling. He's just a very nice guy, very, very smart, observant guy, but you wouldn't want to fuck with him.
No.
And once he realized I was in the same position as him, we kind of became allies. But just with Vader, he would call every fucking day in bitch.
Yeah.
And especially once I wanted to change the agents because I didn't want them.
You didn't want rock and
Especially
roll?
Leon. What?
I think rock and roll would be okay.
It wasn't what I wanted.
Well, what's wrong with the Rock and Roll Express's agents, may I ask?
I don't think Ricky would have been that bad. To be honest, I don't know Robert well enough. And like a lot of wrestling people, I wanted my people.
But okay, and that happens not just in wrestling, politics, all kinds of businesses. When there's corporate takeovers, your guys go out, their guys go in. It happens. I think the best agents, some people believe the best agents are people who are successful at the highest level. I say a lot of times that's the case, a lot of times that's not the case. I don't think Hogan would be a great agent.
Yeah.
Because even though he's arguably the biggest star in the history of the business, arguably, I know you say Austin, whatever, but he's up there. He's up there. I don't know if Hogan can understand what works for everyone else. An agent has to understand what works for everyone involved in that match.
Could you guess who I wanted to be my three agents?
I'm going to take a wild guess. I think Road Dogg would have been good. I think he'd be good. Or was he available at that time? I can't remember.
No, he was with WWE at that point.
I think he'd be good though.
Excellent.
As
long as he's sober, I mean, and I'm not even saying that to be funny, but he's got a great mind for the business.
Yeah, and Armstrong. I mean,
I was talking with someone, as a matter of fact, at NXT today about him.
Oh, okay.
So,
Bo Douglas loved Road Dogg, by the way.
Yeah, well, he got the DX rub.
Yeah, he got to
He
tag
had
with
to come out and say, "Suck it."
At good times.
In other venues, yes.
Okay.
They were, I think, 2-time MWF Tag Team Champions.
Well,
to try and give them like a Hollywood name, they were Slow Dog.
Okay, so I'm gonna guess Road Dogg, but I guess that I'm gonna say I think I'm gonna take another stab in the dark here. Maybe Carlito?
No.
Okay.
All the guys, WWF tenured guys. Mid to late 90s.
Savio?
No, he would have been good.
Would have been good. D'Lo.
Nope, he would have been good.
At least I'm giving you good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're impressing me if I even decide to do this.
Tom Pritchard, but probably not.
No.
He would have been good though.
Higher profile as far as in ring.
What's that? The higher
profile than Tom Pritchard.
Probably
D'Lo, higher profile than him. I would say
X-Pac.
probably one of them.
Okay. Who would be great?
Excellent.
He's smart.
Excellent.
All the Click guys were smart, in my opinion. Even PJ, who is almost like pseudo Click. He's pseudo Click.
Who?
Just incredible. The missing man.
You know why I'm laughing.
The missing man. Yeah. So Pac is one.
He was one.
I'm gonna go with mid to late 90s. If you're gonna tell me, I'm gonna be like, of course.
One is closer than you think.
Closer than I think. Albert?
No.
I'm thinking Albert.
Now, why would I come up with that?
Because he's from here. When you say closer than you think, I'm thinking of people from around here.
No, not that close.
Because he is a very local.
Closer than that.
Closer than that.
Closer than that.
Not Marty.
Oh, I didn't know Marty.
Marty would be good though.
No, he wouldn't.
And if he was sober,
If every week, yeah.
Yeah. Every week, if he was clean, I think Marty would be
Oh, yeah, he'd be a monster asset
yeah.
to any
I think so.
wrestling
I mean, the proof is in Shawn Michaels.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Look at the fans are guessing. Not Mark Henry, not Bret Hart, not Mick Foley. No one that ever held a world championship.
I see belt guys. Shamrock? I think Shamrock would be interesting.
It wasn't Shamrock, but I'm trying to think if they ever, either one of the other two ever held the Intercontinental. They held various championships, but everybody did in that era.
Not Jarrett.
No,
But I think Jarrett would be good.
he was with TNA. Was he with TNA at that point?
Maybe Global Force at that point. That was his
whatever. It wasn't him. Not Billy. No, Billy Kidman was with WWE. Chance. Closer than you think. For one of them.
Was he in a stable?
Yeah. I guess you could say that. Actually, they were in the same stable at one point. Not Val Venus. No, not Perry Satin.
Oh, that's a good guess. Perry would have been good too.
Not Dean Malenko. This was 2015, Chance.
But they were
Not Eddie.
mid to late 90s.
Eddie was 10 years past at that point. It would have been tough to resurrect him for the agent role. I'm sure he would have been good at it. But
oh, no, I'm sure. All the great in-ring workers, quote unquote, probably would be good agents in some capacity.
Yeah. But this was a faction that was around the Attitude Era.
Not Nation of Domination.
Nope.
Not Los Boricuas.
Certainly not. I shouldn't say
not
that,
Oddities.
No, who?
Now I'm thinking of all the
No, it wasn't the Oddities.
Heart Foundation, no.
That would have been tough to pull off.
It would have been very tough to pull off, especially at that time. DX.
Closer than you think.
Not Billy Gunn.
Nope.
And not China, because she was dead by that point.
No.
She died right after that. She died right after that.
Yeah.
Rest her soul.
You know what? If John Bradshaw was available, he'd be on my list, but I don't think a lot of people would have gelled with him. But I love John Layfield. I may be in a minority. But
I was going to say Sky Too Hottie.
Nope. Well, I guess that was kind of a faction.
And Brian Christopher.
Not him.
Those guys would be good, though.
Not Brian Christopher.
No, Brian.
Pain in the ass.
In terms of talent, who could do it? Not personality, but just the talent. They could probably put that together.
But I don't know if he would have been a good agent. I know in ring, I thought he was very, very good. I thought he was very underrated.
I thought he was one of the best heels of his day in the early mid-90s.
He never had a real chance in WWF because of his size. Percy was past Phil, unfortunately.
But I think
it was
Percy
not Kai and Ty. No,
I think Percy would have been very good at aging.
If he was alive, he was coming.
Yeah. Oh, Dan, I can't even do this. You know, I would mess with my friends sometimes. I'd say, think of the most beautiful woman you could think of from toe to head. And when I time to get to the head, just think, oh, Undertaker. And I'd have them imagine Paul Bearer's face on that body with their eyes closed, like a psychological experiment.
Well, it was not him, unfortunately. What is the Baboon? The question was, when we were involved with this startup Major League Wrestling company, who were the three people I wanted as agents as opposed to Vader and the Rock and Roll Express?
So we have X-Pac.
X-Pac was one, and the other two were in the same Attitude Era faction, one of which is closer than you think.
I'm just trying to think of all the factions.
Both
the DOA?
Both of them have been in the MWF in the past.
Well, it's not Shelton Benjamin. That was before his time. Not Shelton. Shelton wasn't in the Attitude Era. He might have been in OVW in like 2000, but that's about it.
Oh, no, he wouldn't fit Attitude Era. I see what you mean. No, not the same faction as X-Pac, Baboon.
Low card faction?
Yeah.
It's not Mean Little Sisters with
PMS.
PMS.
It was not female, no.
It was not Jackie.
Sean Stasiak.
No Sean Stasiak.
Not the Godfather. Nope. Interesting guesses. Was not Joey Abs.
Oh, yeah.
Not Barry Windham.
Mean Street Posse.
Oh, wait. Matt got one of them.
What was it?
He put down the New Midnight Express.
Bob Holly?
He was one of them.
And Bart Gunn?
Not Bart Gunn.
Barry Windham?
No. He got Bob Holly. You got X-Pac, and there's one more.
No, but Bob Holly was part of the New Midnight.
The New Midnight Express was Bart Gunn and Bob Holly.
Yes.
Managed by Quinn.
So Jim Cornette?
No. That's not the faction I was referring to.
Oh, I'm thinking the NWA faction
Right.
that Cornette had.
Yep. Ah, Matt, you got it. Al Snow. Closer than you think.
The Job Squad.
Closer than you think.
Job Squad.
So those are the three guys I wanted to operate. And I figured X-Pac is great. They're all great in different ways.
Yeah.
But you have Holly, who's going to be hard on certain guys.
Excellent book, Bob Holly.
And you had one of the best. Bob Holly's book is fantastic.
I did read it, and I remember thinking I disagree with certain things he said, but I thought he was true to his convictions, and that's what I respected about it. But I disagree with certain things, but he was very smart, and he was very candid, and he was open, and I that's what I appreciated.
Well, I'd love to have him back. Well, I'd love to have him here in the studio. He's never been before, but we've worked with Bob in the past, and I think Al would be great with guys in a different way. He's more of an uncle-like figure, as Quincy calls him.
Drill instructor to lovely uncle.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So I thought it was a good dynamic with those three.
Yeah, I've never met
and
Bob
they all
Holly.
got fucked.
Yeah, I've never met
Much
Bob
like
Holly in real
myself,
life.
Kevin Nash, my buddy Chris Sabin, who I lined up with a very nice deal. You want to hear, before we start Starrcade, do you want to know how this nonsense was going to begin before I went literally insane?
Chris Sabin, you're a Chris Sabin guy.
Oh, yeah, I love him.
I loved him too back in
Good.
the day.
I wouldn't call him a great friend, but a good friend.
Good.
Was he we had to do a lot with him.
Was he your favorite X Division guy, you think, when you look back on that time? Because I thought he was excellent.
What's the matter, C? You're going to talk about the raffle? Oh, thank you for reminding me about that. Yes, I am. All I can say is he's up there. I'd have to really sit there and think of who my favorite might have been. But he's just a really good guy. So easy to work with, which is why I wanted him around.
Him and Shelley as the Motor City Machine Guns, I thought were a great team.
Shelley was all right to deal with, but Sabin was just one of those where you say, I wish I could have someone like that every time, which is why I wanted him around this.
Yeah.
But their big angle before we start Starrcade was going to be this guy that owned it was going to be in the ring with his attorney. And I think either the father or the grandfather was going to die and leave the promotion to him, and he was going to be a heel. And I said, the only fucking problem with that is, A, nobody cares, and it has nothing to do with wrestling, and B, nobody knows who the fuck you are.
Yeah. That's only work if they know who it is.
And that was, I think, a heartbreaking moment for him. But I think anyone with an ounce of common sense would have realized I was right. I mean, imagine, there's a new Major League Wrestling show on. Okay, there's some lawyer and some grandson in the ring, and some grandfather died, and now this guy's an asshole because he got a wrestling promotion. Why? Because every other GM and owner was a heel at that point?
Yeah.
Who the fuck cared? And you know me, I had to share my thoughts.
Did you think this was going to be like, you talk about getting back to WWE sometimes with me, you'd love to go back. Do you think this was in your mind at some point? You're like, maybe this is that grassroots big promotion that's going to come. Was there that little part of you that thought maybe this is where I can get that big sort of payday or that big sort of career, I made it sort of thing?
If it went 8 weeks, I was going to be happy. That was my thought. And we didn't get one. And it was just miserable. But fans, before we go, wait a minute. Hey, Dan, I am really I'm really depressed. I want to work for you. Mike, if you had to work for me, your level of depression would increase more than you know.
I'm dead inside. I am dead inside, people.
But I'm sorry you're not feeling good.
Yes.
I'm glad you're with us. Hopefully we can lift your holiday spirits a little bit. If you want to share and say why you're depressed, tell us. There is some good news, though, for the fans that entered the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks raffle. I didn't even discuss this with you, Charlie. The winner has not claimed the prize.
Ooh, that has made things interesting.
So John Cena Sr. has suggested to me that tonight we put out a 24-hour notice. If that person does not claim the jackpot, we're going to draw it again because I still have all the tickets in that little mini Halliburton.
Good on Manikus. Good on Manikus.
Which one?
Manikus Cena.
John C. Manikus Lou?
No. Manikus.
John C.
Manikus
Reilly?
No, I rechristened him Manikus
Did I tell you what happened with the little Dutch boy from Holland?
No.
Before we start? That sad 40-pound sack of shit with birdseed-sized teeth was bothering the little Dutch boy from Holland on a mountain in Vermont, sharing the video with him about his shit uncreative company.
Wait a minute. What? So the Dutch boy in Holland, the Dutch boy from Holland was in Vermont,
Well, that's where he works.
And Captain Lou sent him a video?
We sent him a link to the video I made, and he was very upset. I don't know if he thought the little Dutch boy was going to attack me or... But it is
why?
the little
How
Dutch
does he
boy
know-
is one of my people.
How does he know him?
I think they all went to the same same Catholic high school for a minute.
Malden Catholic.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Captain Lou,
Don't even mention him.
I love you, but just drop it. It's just dead.
Seed
It's dead. It's like
what's he bothering the Dutch boy
it's classy
for?
Freddie Blassie, brother. It's laying on the ground. He's dead and gone. You know,
But the Dutch boy, he's up there trying to clean mountains.
trying to he's trying to gather berries for the wintertime up there.
From
Probably.
a 40-pound nothing.
I thought that was what you called the little Dutch boy, the 40-pound nothing. He's probably a small man.
I think the world of the little Dutch boy, but he is very little.
Smaller than me.
Oh, I mean, you'd think it was a little child.
I mean,
What do you think? John C., you know the little Dutch boy from Holland. What do you think?
I mean, he's short, but he's like average build.
But I mean, he's tiny. I mean, he's not as thin as Lou Data, but
I've only got like 3 inches on him. He's not that short.
well, maybe it's because I'm so big. I don't know. All right, wrestling fans, are you ready? Are you ready for a little Starrcade 98, baby?
Let's go for it.
All right. Hopefully the cell can hold the laptop.
And of course, I mean, but then again, I think everyone's bigger than me, so it's nice to see someone smaller than me for a change.
All right. Well, if you ever meet the little Dutch boy, I think you'll really like him.
Well,
He has some very interesting insights on something he knows nothing about.
well, okay.
If that makes any sense.
All right, that's good to hear.
And he says, "Hi, hi." All right.
Goldberg.
Chris Steves, did you hear the big announcement, my friend? You're going to love it. If you didn't, Captain Lou should worry about his horrible. Yes, he should worry about his horrible audio skills instead of a poor little Dutch boy. Oh, I wish the Dutch boy was watching this. You want to apologize to John Cena Sr.? He grew on me. Well, the same could be said for his piece, but here we are live from Washington, D.C., folks. It's WCW NWO Starrcade.
Speaking of pieces, Kevin Nash always had a great piece on a great rug.
I don't think that was a rug.
I know, it looks great.
Oh, yeah. His moss stayed good.
Yeah, his
Even at his age.
His 95 diesel look is my hair goals as I grow it out.
Mr. Wonderful. John Nord looked huge when he was on the show. Imagine him back in the day. Yeah. It's like someone noted during one of the premieres, if someone makes me look small, that's a big guy.
Especially, well, next to me, everyone's big. But then again, you always say I'm on the gas.
Well, that's your problem.
Well,
you're as wide and thick as you are tall.
Well, that's the thing.
You're just pure muscle.
Well,
everybody wants to give you a squeeze.
Well, I've stopped the gas. I'll let you know.
No more gas.
No more gas. I right now I'm Hogan from WrestleMania 6. By the time we get to July, I'll be Hogan from WrestleMania 3 or 9.
Oh God! Well, they'll call you the Incredible Shrinking Man.
Yeah. I'll be a thin walrus.
Reggie Jackson, DDP should have ended the streak. Are you kidding me?
Actually, it's not a terrible idea.
DDP?
Watch Halloween Havoc 98. He was over, dude. He was over.
He was part of a product that was over.
No, he was over.
Well, how over was he in WWE?
Because they killed him. That company has killed.
Well, you know what? As someone that was there for that, you're not wrong.
Look, WWE, I've noticed.
Al Snow for president. We'd have a great country.
Just the last 10 years alone, that company has killed off more potential main eventers. Over the last 10, just the last 10. I'm just going to the last 10.
To me, it's ever since the bell rang at WrestleMania 17. Maybe I shouldn't say that publicly, but
just the last 10, I can give you at least 5 or 6 names that they've killed that could have made them money.
Oh, hold on, what's that? John C. I think we're going to need a couple of cups, brother. It's a holiday weekend. We'll do it. We'll do it for Bobby. Because I think Bobby had a little something hidden under that desk.
Maybe. By this point, he was probably drinking every day. No, but they've killed off at least 5 or 6, 7 main event guys just in the last decade alone.
Oh, Chris, no, the announcement is, Chris, the winner of our Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive has not come forward. So I spoke with John Cena Sr. as one of our ambassadors. We're going to put up a 24-hour notice tonight. And if no one claims it within a day of that, we're going to draw it again because I have all of the raffle tickets still in that little mini black Halliburton type thing that we keep them in. So you may still have a chance to win big. But we'll put out the 24-hour notice. Chance, yes, I'm sorry, I did press play. Did I not say I was pressing play?
Oh, okay. Well, we're just at the announcement. So if you guys want to fast forward till them just talking,
we haven't even reached the first match yet. Go for State. How are you, my friend?
I had this event on VHS tape, by the way.
Did you?
I did.
An official VHS or a bootleg?
It was official. I did this in WrestleMania 3.
Those were the only 2 videotapes you owned.
My first 2.
Oh, your first 2. Okay. Okay.
I had these 2, and they were great shows from what I remember.
3, I love this show.
I love
not
this
so
show.
much, but
but I remember. But I can tell you this.
Maybe it'll change my mind. Sometimes when we rewatch them, I look at like SummerSlam '90. I always disliked, and when we rewatched it, it wasn't so bad. Maybe it's because it's so much better than present day WWE, but I really don't remember much about this show other than the top 2 matches.
Well, there's a lot that
Hey, go for State, sir. So, you know what? John C, for Christ's sakes, where's the cup? I got to give him salute.
Typical John C.
You know what? Here, with
typical
Fabo's $1 million jalapeno hot sauce, salute.
Typical groveler. Typical John C.
I love John C.
Yeah,
He's here nice and early. He came from having a nice hibachi Christmas dinner.
Really?
You got me hungry.
You're always, well, you never eat.
Oh, I'm always hungry.
You never eat. Why don't you eat during the day?
You know what I had for Christmas dinner?
What?
Apples. I had apples.
Did you
out
go
of
to the
studio.
satellite office?
You want to know what pissed me off? Christmas fucking Eve, I went to the satellite office. That worked voice that asks if you ordered through an app spoke, but it was closed. I got worked at McDonald's on Christmas Eve.
Wow. Are you going to the satellite office tonight?
I sure hope so.
How was it time getting
Wow. Now, fans, we need your input on this. Charles or Charlie, I don't know if it's because he's having a little rage because of the gas or getting off the gas. Your body's trying to, get into a normal routine again. But you have suggested moving the time of the watch-alongs.
Well, not ridiculously early, but like maybe just a little earlier because some of these
shows. Well, did you like my idea?
Well,
I don't want to state it.
Well, some of these shows are a little okay. For example, if you watch a pay-per-view, especially today's pay-per-views,
they're like 3 hours long, and they're probably an hour too long in some cases.
Yes.
Now, if you watch a show like an old Clash of the Champions,
thank you, sir. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. If you watch an old, thank you, Dan.
That's what we should do. We should just talk quiet like that through the whole watch along, like we're at a library. Now, this guy I absolutely love.
Oh, he's crazy, isn't he?
Love Juventud Guerrero. Fans in Washington are happy, but go for State. To you, my friend, I say Merry Christmas and salute. Little apple juice.
So with my,
excuse me. Back to Charlie's thought of actual importance.
Back to what I was
as opposed to my complete nut of nonsense.
So my thing is,
because, this should be a great opener. Sorry.
Oh, excellent opener. So my thing was because some of the, like, if you watch No Clash of Champions, they're like an hour and 45, an hour.
Once they take out the commercials.
Yeah, they're very quick. So if we come in, a lot of times we get here. I mean, we didn't start this show till 7:30. So,
we chatted.
And by the time I drop you off and everything, by the time I get home, sometimes it's a little bit late for my liking.
All right. Well, that's why I'm asking you. What time do you prefer? Maybe we're making it about you.
Maybe we can try. Let's try a 6:30 start time. See if that works.
See, and I don't want to sound like a pain in the ass, but I'd rather go with the even start time.
You and the evens.
I want to go with the. So I'd rather do 6 than 6:30, unless you really want to do 6:30. Or should we ask the fans?
Ask the fans, see what they say.
You know what we're going to do? I think we can do a poll. Oh, this is a triple threat. Wow, this should be really good.
If we could start it at 7, because I figure...
we're going to do a poll. I think you can do a poll.
Because if we could start at 7 on the dot and be done and be out of here before 10, that would be great. But honestly, it'd be even better to get out earlier.
What time would you like Sunday night?
Now, I love Billy Kidman, but I hate wrestlers who do not wear wrestling gear. I do not like wrestlers that wrestle in jeans. So I'm looking at you, Manikus Reilly Jr. I like wrestlers that wear wrestling gear.
Now, we can add an option beyond 6 and 6:30. Should we go earlier? Or is this good enough?
That's good enough for right now.
Well, it says ask our community, because that's what you are to us.
You're the MWF universe.
No, I hate that term.
I know.
They're like they're friends, they're extended family. But what a hell of an opening match. I didn't even remember this, and I'm looking forward to it.
But what do you think about what I just said about wrestlers that wrestle like Billy Kidman or John Cena? I hate that. It just
if you have one guy, yeah. If you have multiple, like I'm pretty sure Raven was still here.
Raven's fine. But like Cena, to me, especially with a body like his, great legs, great ass, why would you cover that up? He's got great legs. Why would you cover it up?
Do you think John Cena Sr. gave him those legs?
Well, I've seen Cena Sr.'s body, a cover, of course, and I don't know if he got those genetics, but oof. But I prefer wrestling gear. I think wrestling gear looks better, especially the gear back in the day. I thought looked a little bit better than a lot of guys now. Now it almost looks like costumes sometimes.
Well, to me, it never stood out as a negative on Kidman. I remember Kidman wrestling in tights back when he worked for Tony Rumble in the mid-'90s.
It actually kind of makes Kidman look a little bit bigger with the shorts, as opposed to
working with those two.
Oh, well, that's
what the hell Juventude's doing.
And Hoovie's a very small guy.
Juventude wants to get back down to Baboon's part of the world in Australia and get naked in a hotel.
How would you? Oh, that story. My gosh. I heard he had
Quincy would have been proud of him.
I heard he had Superman strength that day.
I don't know what he was on, but yeah, he was. They had a hard time calming him down from people that were there.
How would you feel about having Hoovie in this seat right now? I've heard interesting things about Hoovie. I don't know if he'd be a guy you'd want to bring in.
I don't know how many episodes I could get out of him. I mean, I know there's a lot of material there. I know my WWF much better than anything else.
Yeah.
The Mexican stuff.
I might rather have Bagwell than Hoovie. And I want Bagwell. Oh, you'd rather have Bagwell over Hoovie too?
I bet you I could get a better interview out of Bagwell.
Right. Yeah.
As far as talent goes, I love Juventude, as I noted. I loved all three of those guys. When Billy Kidman fucked us, I was disappointed.
He fucked you?
Yeah, he went insane on drugs when Tori was on a tour of Australia, and they had to rush her back to the United States after he got released by WWE.
Insane on drugs? What does that mean? He took too many.
He went nuts.
Took too many Valiums?
I don't know exactly what happened or why, but I know we got fucked out of the appearance at Soul Survivor 3. And you want to know who took his place?
Road Dogg?
The man that would go on to become Finn Balor.
Oh, was he Fergal Devitt?
He was Fergal Devitt, yeah. A good man.
What do you think about him?
One of my absolute favorites.
Oh.
As much as sometimes I don't like the WWE presentation, it's almost like Ivar, Todd Hansen. I can't say anything bad. I think the world of him.
I think he works, but I will say this about him, my one caveat, if you're going to push him, he kind of has to be the top guy, or he just sort of gets lost. Yes.
You know what? You're not necessarily wrong. And at this point, where, Finn has been done to death, I would use him as the demon.
Yeah.
But one man's opinion. I think there's much more merchandising opportunities with him doing that. I think there'd be more interest in general with him doing that.
And, and I think Finn's one of those guys where he's aged very well, and he's still a great performer.
We're like, as far as age goes, I don't remember who's older, me or him, but we're just almost identical.
There's some guys like that. Ciampa looks as great as he's ever looked.
Yeah.
I don't like the big gnome beard, but if you trim that up, I think Ciampa.
I think Finn looks younger than Ciampa.
But is Ciampa about 40?
If I was going to guess, I'd say 36-ish.
Yeah.
There's a few years.
He's in great shape, though. He put it this way. He looks better. He's in better shape now than he was as Tommy Penmanship, if anyone remembers those days.
Please. Mr. Wonderful said Hoovie does horrible shoot interviews.
Yeah. Not the best.
Charles Robinson is such a good ref. Yes, he is. He's a great ref, still going strong now. Even with the youth movement in WWE, he's still there. Phil, if you remember, they gave Finn a big push in his debut off of NXT. He went over clean on Roman on Raw to set up the SummerSlam 2016 main event when he became the first Universal Champion, defeating Seth Rollins,
Then he got
which
injured.
lasted all of a day because he got injured, the poor guy.
And he's a guy that could have been a bigger star than what he is now, obviously. Again, WWE, they left a lot of money off the table with him, just like other guys, you know?
Yeah, I don't get it.
But
I
it
mean,
supports
the Demon was over huge.
It supports the theory that, at least to me, they want one guy over, and then the rest is a brand
nobody
thing.
can be over.
Well, Roman, but that's about it.
I agree with you, Slick Rick. These guys were a great pick to open the show. I don't remember this match.
Excellent.
But I'm glad they booked it.
I like Lahuvi's leather pants.
I'm going to tell Kevin he did a good job. I spoke to Kevin Sullivan for Christmas. He wishes you all well.
Good.
Hopefully he's open to be in this studio when he's back in town visiting relatives in the near future, as opposed to the horrible audio job we had in Las Vegas, thanks to the professional. Professional birdseed.
Do you think Captain Lou's watching today?
Yeah, he's going to probably cry to either you or the Dutch boy. It's a good thing he doesn't have Phil's number. Phil would be listening to it. And Phil wouldn't put up with it.
Captain Lou.
Phil would take a shovel to the back of his head,
Captain Lou, this reminds me of a time back in 1983 when I was driving with Morocco, and I said to Don, I said, hey, Rock, you know, I got to be honest with you here, brother. You know, these matches you have with Backlund are great, but they need to know something else. And then he slapped me in the face.
Yeah, Lou, you know, Lee Wong from Hong Kong had birdseed-sized teeth, too. Undercard guy from way back.
Lou, actually, Captain Lou and I talked about a wrestling character for him. We came up with one.
Oh. And what was I got to hear this masterpiece.
So he wanted to be a heel, which actually makes sense now.
I bet I could be a heel, Charlie.
Wuhan Lou.
Wuhan Lou is going to be...
Wuhan Lou.
Wuhan Lou is...
I came up with the whole gimmick myself.
What was the gimmick going to be?
So he was basically a not just a hacker, but, you know, a spreader of disease.
He was going to be a hacker.
A hacker and spreader of disease.
And he was going to start a disease?
Well, Wuhan, with the COVID.
Actually, and what promotion was this going to be in?
Well, to be fair, he didn't come up with it. I came up with it in my head, and I haven't told him yet. So.
Oh, he doesn't even know.
But this is my creative mind working. Do you like my creativity?
That's a little much. As far as creating a disease.
It's a little bit of a Manikus Reilly kind of idea.
That's what I could see Johnny coming up with. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
I wonder what Charles thinks about all the Flair stuff going on with WWE. What do you think?
About the whole, they're going to destroy my legacy sort of thing, and he doesn't want to work for them again?
I'm not 100% sure.
I think Ric Flair is an all-time great, but he follows the money, and he's his biggest fan. My opinion. And listen, Rick, I met him one time. Very nice guy. Got to lock up with him in a seminar years ago.
Did you?
Yep. It was a very cool experience. I was 17 and it was a very fun day. But I will say this. I appreciate Flair and what he's done. But as far as how he handles himself with the commercials, with the rappers and all the chains, it's a little much. You're Ric Flair. You know, you can do what you want. And I think he's great. He talked about Bryan Danielson recently, saying Bryan Danielson's very good, but he's not great. And I remember thinking that's a little bit of a strong opinion. I think Bryan Danielson is excellent. I think he's one of the best workers of his generation. I remember thinking at 14 years old when I first saw him that he was maybe the best wrestler I've ever seen potentially in my lifetime. He was that good in my lifetime. Dan?
How long were you watching wrestling for at that point?
At that time, a few years, but I hadn't seen anything like him before. He's excellent, though. You don't think he's excellent? For an all-time talent perspective of the last 20 years, I think he's one of the best workers.
He's very good.
I think he's one of the best workers of his generation.
I don't think he's great.
You don't think he's a great worker?
I think he's very good.
Why don't you think he's great?
He doesn't bring enough credibility to what he does.
How so? I'm curious.
Comedy in size.
You think he's too much of a comedy guy?
Yes.
When was he a comedy? With the Cane?
Throughout most of his career.
The Yes stuff? Was that comedy?
That when he
What-
was
what
the-
about Austin's
the
what?
vegan or whatever the.
Austin's what was comedy?
And what did I say when the bell rang at WrestleMania 17? The
Okay.
business died.
To be fair, that's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And what was post WrestleMania 17?
Yeah. What?
I think what was
Cowboy
what
hats
oh,
and
02?
milk and what's that?
What was what 02? Maybe 01, 02?
Summer of 01.
Yep.
was what? And I remember every week, anyone with a brain would look at each other like, you gotta be shit.
I think Austin, once he got hit by that car in '99, it was pretty much done for him. That was he was hot, but it was never
He still had some.
2000, yes, but it was never quite what it was in '98, '99. It was kind of a little bit lower, I think. From what I've seen.
Well, as far as if you want to look at gross numbers, no.
But
It actually hit its peak not too long before
But wasn't
WrestleMania 17.
But wasn't that usually Rocky at the top? Because in 2000, Rock became the number one guy at that point.
Well, by process of elimination, right. But Austin was back on the road full time in late 2000.
That's true. And I mean, I'm sure WWE in 2000, 2001 had to make the decision, who do we want as the number one guy? They'd go with Rock over Austin because it's just simple longevity. Rock was going to be around.
Well,
but then
the
Hollywood
fact that
came.
The Rock made 8 figures, I mean, the fact that Austin made 8 figures when he wasn't even wrestling, I think says everything that needed to be said about Steve Austin's popularity as far as merchandise goes.
Oh, I agree, but I think The Rock was right behind him. If you were Vince in 2001, do you think Rock has more longevity than Austin?
No, because they knew he wanted out.
In 2001, it was that soon?
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was the following year at that point. No.
They knew it was coming. That's why I think he was an asshole for not wanting to do or refusing to do WrestleMania 21. Wow, look at that from Rey Mysterio.
Really?
Jr.
He did 20, though.
Huh?
He did 20?
Yeah, he did 20, but he should have done 21. They
Why
let
is
him walk out of his contract to go do movies for $1 million
But what
a
would you have done
movie.
at 21?
Shawn Michaels.
Oh, because he wouldn't work with Shawn because of the. But then again, fuck Shawn. I think he could have done anything else. And actually, Shawn and Angle put on a better match than anything Rock would have done.
At that time, I thought that was the best wrestling match I had ever seen.
It's excellent.
And Bobby Heenan said the same thing. I don't think he was drunk.
And you know what? That was really Shawn maybe at. The only thing I hated about that match was Shawn's leather pants because I hate those baggy pants. But that might have been Shawn at the last of his great. I mean, he was great after that, but that was maybe because after that, I think he started looking a little old. And he looked.
Yeah, he was getting a little.
Yeah,
old.
he was. It seemed like Shawn aged very well until about 40. Then it started kind of going to hell.
Brian looks like a demented hobo with that beard and mindless grin.
You do have a little bit of an interesting look at times. Though I do like the quarter zip you've got on. That's a nice shirt.
Don the Barber, how are you, brother? I'm sorry I missed you. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said I like the shirt, though.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I wore it for you.
Oh, I'm glad.
Like it.
I'm glad. Thank you.
Chance says, this Ray and ECW Ray was the best. Once he bulked up in WWE, it killed him. I agree with that a lot, Chance. He got too big in WWE, but he was worried about fitting in. Because if you remember, they waited a long time to sign him, and they had the ability to sign him long before that. Dean Malenko, from what I recall, I remember Malenko. It was at an MSG house show, might be March of 01, and I just remember him pushing and pushing and pushing because they looked at Mysterio as a problem tied in with the Conan group, and they didn't want that. But once they brought him in, it wound up working out pretty good, considering how much merchandise he sold and how much money everybody made together.
I think pound for pound, Ray is probably one of the best of all time in terms of if you're going to look strictly at how small of a talent he is, but how much of an impact he's had on the business. I mean,
and good and bad, probably in some ways.
In some ways, yeah.
Everyone his size thinks they can do it, and that's horrible.
Right. I mean, someone online made the case that because of Rey Mysterio, guys like Darby Allin, and even to a bigger extent, Marco Stunt could be successful. And I said, it's not the same. Ray was athletic looking. He had an interesting character. He had something about him that was likable.
Speaking of Eddie Guerrero
in his LWO days.
Charles Robinson laying the law down. My apologies, Dan, but did I hear you correctly? You worked for WWE When and for how long, and why did you leave? Well, unfortunately, it was not for very long. It was from the fall of 2000 through the summer of 2001. I worked in live event relations in a certain geographical area, along with the tapings and pay-per-views and so on. And basically, they got rid of everybody that wasn't full-time in the summer of 01 as business was started to go down. And they had to bring in X amount of people from WCW once the buyout took place. So once the buyout took place, it was bye-bye me. And I remember that the end of that week was when we booked Wonderland Greyhound Park in Revere, Massachusetts for our first live Boston Wrestling MWF event that took place in September of 2001. So this organization would have started sooner if I didn't wind up in that WWF position. It just kind of fell into my lap due to pure luck more than talent, skill, ability.
Kind of like today.
I wish something like that would fall into my lap today, believe me. But anyway, we have to talk to John C. Manikus Reilly about that. I believe Dave Milliken still makes belts.
Yep. He might be, is he dead? Or is that Reggie Park who died?
Reggie Parks just died from the cauliflower. I shouldn't say. Are we live?
Oh, we're live, brother. We're live.
Well, there were a few of the elderly members that attended the real. I have to stop. Eddie Guerrero laying it into Hoovy. Things aren't going good in the LWO, which I don't even remember why it existed.
Now, you talked about Rey Mysterio getting bigger when he went to WWE. It's nothing in comparison of what he's got in the last few years. He's really beefed up the last few years.
I think he's starting to get a little bit of the gas gun.
Yeah, I hate getting that. Yeah.
No, you've got many years to go before you got to worry about the gas gun.
Is there any pro wrestler that you could think of in the last, say, well, there's probably quite a few, that looked good, that were never on the gas, that looked just physically good? I'm talking physically
it's so
good.
hard to say who that might be. Interesting question.
Because it's hard to know who's on what and what was and when and where. I mean, there are guys who look. I was watching, like, for example, a week ago, I was watching Ziggler and Miz from 2016. I love that feud. That was one of the last times I really liked WWE as a product, was their feud. And I looked at them, and both guys looked like they were natural. But they probably did steroids earlier in their careers, maybe when they were first starting out, or it wasn't being tested, you know. I know Ziggler got popped years ago, and Miz, who knows what he did. But, you know, they looked like they looked natural and athletic, that if you said that they weren't on anything, you could believe it. They didn't have bulging 24-inch arms with veins popping out of their neck and looking like if you put a pincushion in them, they would just spread toxic ooze for a mile.
Don, I don't know about Christian, but I know Edge had a little help at times.
Yeah. Edge was weird. He looked shredded for years, and then all of a sudden he stopped working out.
Phil says, I bet Quincy could rock those Uggs Charlie Wilson's wore. Keep the gas from Quincy.
Do you like them, Phil?
Quincy was wild this week on Quincy's Wrestling Challenge.
Are you doing chronological
Thursday
challenges?
Night. Yes.
So what year are you in now, 1986?
September 20th, 1986. And Quincy, I don't think there's known one person yet that's appeared on any of the three shows.
Oh, God. Do you think Captain Lou would have liked Wrestling Challenge from 1986?
He just, but it's give him something else to cry about. He gone home and told his mother. He bothered the little Dutch boy on a mountain in Vermont on Christmas, sending him YouTube links.
He told me he hadn't seen that video yet.
Who?
He hadn't watched it.
Lou?
Yeah.
What does he keep sending it to people for?
Maybe he watched it. And
Fucking idiot. If he watched it, he'd realize it wasn't even that bad. Can you imagine if I went full-blown Dan Mirade with the thoughts I've probably shared with you in private? How he'd cry?
I wish that some of the audience could be a fly on the wall in my car when we drive out of here, because some of the things he says to me are colorfully uncouth. It's acrobatic, exactly. Really.
Well, I can only be me. John C. Manikus Reilly observed some of it, but, you know, Reilly at least is a trustworthy individual. Came down here. You shrug your shoulders at Reilly's trustability.
He's all right.
He's all right.
He's all right.
He came from a hibachi dinner to be here with us.
You know,
I wanted to go to the hibachi dinner, and I wanted him to do the show.
do it. Yeah, I think it's fine.
Where was it? North Andover? It's in North Andover. Right? Are you a hibachi guy?
I could be.
You could be.
Yeah, it could be.
I
don't think he likes me.
Another thing.
I don't think he likes me, though.
Who?
I don't think John C. Reilly likes me.
You don't. John C. Reilly. Do you like not Lou Data? You hate Lou Data. Charlie Wilson.
I don't have any problems with him.
You don't have any problem. But wait a minute. There's no love.
No liking? I don't know. You give me the vibe they don't like me.
He gives you a ride. I mean, what more do you want from the man?
I do appreciate that.
What do you want? A hug? He might crush you with his gassed up arms.
I don't need to hug him, but I just feel like I don't think he likes me.
What about a fist bump?
I don't like. I don't know. I mean,
Are
I
you
guess
a fist bump type of guy?
No, it's not about fist bumping. It's not about. It's just about.
The fist bump has nothing to do with it.
I think Phil likes me. I think
Phil is just a nice human being.
he is.
Phil is too nice for this set.
Yeah, really is.
That's my only worry
I think I'm
about
too nice
him.
for
We're
this
going
set,
to eat
to
him
be
up.
honest.
You know what? You rank up there too.
Yeah.
Riley's got a little coolness in him. That's why
Yeah.
I like Reilly.
Yeah.
Riley's got
You guys are.
Riley's got a
spirits.
little Marty in him.
You guys are kindred spirits, I think.
I don't know about that. No, he's nowhere near as bad as me. You know that.
I don't know what that means.
What?
What do you mean by that?
A little Marty in you?
He
Just
might
a
have a little
little
Mirade in you later on.
A little viciousness, a little cruelty, a little
no, I don't think-
bluntness.
I don't think I'm as vindictive as you.
I don't think any human being on the planet is, but you know what? Someone's got to be me. Let me catch up here in the chat as these two figure out if they're friends or not. Why can't we be friends? Why
That's okay.
can't
I
we
like
be
John C.
The
friends?
list of all the people I know, and my opinions of them, you're at least in the top half.
Oh,
Wow. Well, geez, what a
Good.
fucking compliment.
good. I'm good.
You're in the top half.
All the people I've ever.
Well, how many people have you met? I guess maybe if we were going to narrow it down, let's talk quantity.
To name all the people I've ever
From
met.
this studio or in
In
life?
general. I'm talking
Well, I like them more.
in the studio, you're in the top like 10%.
Well, does that make you feel any better?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right.
A little bit.
There's a lot of people here that dislike. But
By the
anyway.
way, someone says, I wish Charles would be Charles Wilson III and slick his hair back and wear a suit. I don't wear suits, but I do wear my Uggs.
The singer.
No, I think, oh no, I know what you're talking about. I don't know if I want to slick my hair back, but maybe
Push it back.
maybe I'll when I grow it out, I'll have like, I had a gimmick idea for the Soy Boy Express.
The Soy Boy Express.
It was going to be Captain Lou, John C. Reilly, and myself after Got Off the Gas, and we were going to throw
You're gonna
our
feud
hair
with
in
3
man
count
buns.
WCW?
Huh?
What are you going to do? Feud with 3 count
Pretty much.
WCW?
And we were going to talk about their sexist lyrics, and we were going to like come out and talk about how cancel culture is important and how
Was it you and Soy Boys?
me and Soy Boys? I haven't talked about this idea in a while.
Get up on your feet and put your hands together.
I love 3
Get
count.
ready for a 3 count.
Evan Courageous's abs are crazy.
I like the
None of them could work
Backstreet
though, except
Boys,
for one.
NSYNC 2.
Were you a fan of any of those guys?
I like TRL on MTV.
Yep.
Everybody 3 count. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Did you like any of those guys?
I
like
didn't
Helms.
dislike them. It,
I like
it was all spots.
I liked Helms.
Yeah, and who went on to have the best career.
Courageous had a good look. Shannon Moore actually.
You know 3 count.
Do I?
I heard you say yeah, like you were agreeing with what I was saying.
It's a Dan.
Oh, Dan, yes, what?
Do you want to?
Oh, a salute there?
Yeah, you want to go?
Well, hold on one second. Yes, I do. Hold on, wait. John, it's empty. Chance says he wants you to beat John C. Reilly and a loser leaves the studio.
Wouldn't that be great? No, you wouldn't have anyone
You
to
think
fill your
Quincy
cup.
would have to ref?
I think so.
Now, have you enjoyed Quincy's wrestling challenge?
I pop in from time to time.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting.
Have you learned anything about 86 WWF yet?
To be honest with Quincy, I don't know anything. I think I lose brain cells, if
He
anything.
looks like an unmade bed from Motel 6 with that salmon shirt that he has on that's 3/4 untucked, pants that he got from the Salvation Army that are a couple of sizes too big. It's an odd look. John C, thank you, sir.
Thanks, John C.
That's it? Jackie the Joke Man, if you're watching, brother, I still appreciate that you went, but you should have got a bigger bottle. Is that a good way to put it, C? Yeah. All right, well, there's always next week. We got to get you
I like
driving.
how Hoovy put on Hetty's leather jacket. He puts on his leather jacket.
I would be remiss if I didn't note that the referee, Scott Dickinson, was the man that, I guess kind of indirectly led me to the world of pro wrestling. His appearance on Our Friend the Jackal and the director of the Studio He Has talk show led to Tony Rumble coming down to promote his event, which led to us walking in the door.
Interesting.
The summer was June of '93. I met Scott Dickinson.
And the hot time in the business. Well, not really, but
in '93.
No, I'm being facetious. Business was kind of dead. Well,
yeah, that's a great way to put it.
By the way, I work with a young lady who looks like Juventud Guerrera.
I thought you were going to say you work with a woman that looks like Scott Dickinson.
No, Juventud Guerrera. She looks like Hoovy.
Hoovy, he's
very pretty man.
Kind of like a woman.
Very pretty man.
Dickinson still goes to Red Sox and Mariners games out in Washington with Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah.
Maybe I mentioned that before.
Now, Kevin Sullivan, I hear, is a fun guy to hang out with, especially when he calls this woman the C word multiple times.
And we're not talking about Christmas.
And we're not talking about maybe a woman.
Let me tell you, he was 110% spot on about that.
It might be a woman we both know about, huh?
Yeah, someone that's been here in this studio.
I dealt with her.
A horse that was recycled. But anyway.
A recycled horse?
Yes.
I dealt with her November 13th.
I don't know how you recycle a horse.
And it was an interesting experience.
Yeah.
You know what it was? It was like a bipolar recycled horse, I guess. Basically, 1 minute it was cool. Next minute, someone was in my face about what we were doing.
Never again.
To be fair, you thought she was before you got her, and then it was and it was hilarious because I would call her that because you would call her that, and then you'd say, "Don't call her that. We don't know if she is." And then as soon as the show ended, you're like, "That's what she is."
Oh, it was before it ended. You didn't hear the phone call during the show.
Oh no, I heard a little bit.
Maybe
I heard parts of it, but by that point, I was so tuned out. I just wanted the night to end. Yeah.
Isn't that sad? All the work we put into that, and it just gets to the point where we just want it to end instead of wanting it to continue.
Yeah. By the time the second to last match came, I found a half a box of Domino's pizza and I just ate it in the kitchen by myself.
You weren't like John C.
I didn't pay for it. John C. I'm sorry.
$3.
No, Quincy hustled, but John C. didn't feel like hustling that day. But I did. I had it, and I remember talking to our good friend Neil Manolian,
the chairman,
and we said Dan really needs to get out of the business, and he said yes, he does.
What a great compliment they paid me, guys, huh?
No, we said you're very hardworking.
Well, thank you.
And then we said Dan, he's very committed, but we said he should leave the business.
Eric Tate, I love your show, bro. Eric, we love the fact that you love the show, bro. Thank you.
But I did get to meet our good friend Mark David that day, so that was nice.
Mark is a very, very, very passionate fan. Good guy. I like.
We're trying to get together one day, so Mark, we'll have to get together.
Really?
Not
down here?
Well, I invited him one day to come down to see if he'd like to.
Thanks for letting me know. In case people start knocking at the door.
Well, no, not.
Why are they here?
Said I would talk to Dan and see.
He may have been here before for something.
Very passionate fan. I love his Facebook
posts.
posts.
He's a really good guy.
Because his Facebook posts, he'll have a picture with someone and he'll talk about their whole career and he'll say
yes, there's quite a buildup before he announces who it is.
And he'll be like, and they're a former Intercontinental and European champion. This is
It's
D'Lo
like a
Brown.
long version of a Jeopardy question.
Yes.
Before you finally get to find out who it is.
It's a picture
if you don't recognize them from the photo.
And it's a picture of him and that person.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
He does. He gives quite the buildup.
But we'll have to hang out one day.
Well, he could come down because I tell you, if you're on Patreon fans, you can join us live. I think on the Saturday, we're going to invite some folks down to interact with the one, the only, my phone pal, the Berzerker, John Nord. We had a lot of fun. And the good thing is Kowloon will be open later those nights.
Saturday?
Every Saturday. I didn't realize the hours fluctuate depending upon the day.
What do you mean the hours fluctuate?
Well, on the weekends, they're open later.
No, I meant like, is it this coming Saturday that you're doing the John Nord?
No, you know when he's coming the 22nd.
Oh, okay. I thought you were doing a call with John Nord. That's
No. We're not going to do a phone call from Kowloon with John Nord.
Yeah, that'd be.
We need John Nord. I love John Nord.
That weekend, gosh, I don't know what I'll be doing that weekend.
Hopefully you're going to come down, Charlie.
I have to come down for Nord.
You love John.
Even if I don't see you a day after today, I will come down for Nord.
Please.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting to see what you guys come up with for January 9th. Howard Miller.
Oh,
very
that's
excited.
Phil, has Phil picked a show yet?
I do not know. Phil, have you picked a show yet for January 9th, since I know you're in the room?
Phil, if you can't think of anything, pick a January show. And
Danny, your wish may come true. We are certainly open for Quincy to be here when John Lloyd is here one of the nights.
Oh, God.
Beautiful shooting star press.
I thought I was going to hit him in the head.
Look, I did too, but he didn't.
It wasn't as smooth as a
beautiful.
Mark Melrose, but it was pretty good.
Or one of mine from back in the day.
Yeah, yours is pretty good, too.
I did it under the hood, though.
Yeah, what were you, the masked
The
groveler?
masked Mirade.
You weren't Luhan Lu.
No. Luhan Lu, if he ever went up like that, would have been like on a windy day, like a plastic bag from Stop and Shop gets caught in the wind and it just kind of blows. There'd be no gravity. It would never hit the ground. It would just keep blowing away. They'd be like, is that a bird? I see bird seed, but
oh God, that was really close to his head.
Another good match.
Yeah.
Hell of a, they did a great job opening this card. Don the Barber just wants to hang out with Quincy. Bill picked Slamboree 98 from the Worcester Centrum.
That's what we'll do.
And I'm going to miss it.
You're not going to be here at all.
I don't know what time that's going to get over. But if you guys start at 6, that gives it much more potential because that starts at 5.
Much more potential for
me to get here.
What starts at 5?
The wrestling at the Garden.
I thought you said it ends at. Oh, it ends at 5 or starts?
No,
at 5?
It starts at 5.
So, but if we start at 6, wouldn't that?
Oh
mean...
no, you're right. Yeah, if you were at 7, I'd have a better shot. Well, I'm going to do everything I can to get here.
Maybe we could do.
Nonetheless, Howard Miller is going to be here.
Yeah, maybe we'll just do 6 in that case.
All right. Well, we don't want to upset Phil.
No, I mean whatever. We'll work it out.
I don't want to wind up with the
Do
show.
you want to be here?
I always want to be here, but sometimes it's hard to.
I feel like we'll be walking out the door and nobody.
I'm here. Yeah. The tough one is going to be WrestleMania weekend when there's just so many things to do. At one point, there's like, I'd need to be in 3 places at the same time. And I don't know how I pull that off.
Right.
I don't know how I pull off 2 at the same time to be off. I guess you're not very excited about the veteran Norman Smiley.
Oh, no, I love Norman Smiley.
You like Norman.
Look how great he looked, too. He looked so wiry and sleek and supple.
Wirely and sleek.
Wiry.
Wiry?
Yeah, wiry. He's
and
wiry.
Sleek.
And sleek and supple.
Supple.
Such a great, and I think Norman here was older. He might have been about 40 here.
Phil said 6 is good, no shovel. LOL.
No shovel.
So you're safe. Well, come on. I mean, I'd expect that from Quincy.
Marty, it was right in front of me, and I just.
Nord should crush Data. Could you imagine if John Nord got his hands on Lou Data?
Oh, God.
I mean, that'd be like a 12-year-old with a stuffed animal.
Yeah.
It wouldn't go well.
That'd be interesting. But no, we'll do Slamboree 98.
I'm going to tell my mother, John. I don't even have any teeth, and they're bigger than those fucking birdseed sized teeth you got, Data.
Yeah. How long is a house show for if it starts at 5?
I love the house shows. I would guess probably 2.5.
You probably wouldn't get back till about 8-ish.
Yeah, depending upon the train.
And if we started the show at 6,
I could at least be here for the tail end of it.
Last
couple matches.
You might miss the whole thing.
Potentially, but that's why Howard Miller is here.
Right.
You don't fuck with Howard.
I feel like he'd come during the main event.
Who, Miller or me?
You.
Oh.
You'd come during the main event probably, which would be I think the main event. Was that Sting and was that Nash? Sting and Nash? I can't remember who that main event was.
I'm sure Phil was there for it where it was in Worcester.
Yeah, that's true.
Back when Phil, I think, was doing a little Charlie Wilson stuff.
What's
those
that mean?
photos he was showing off last week when he was here.
Oh.
When he had bigger guns than Lesnar.
He looked huge. He could beat Lesnar.
It's like treasury.
And by the way, Lesnar, in my opinion, in that first run, he was in incredible shape. But in the last few years, I think he's looked kind of chunky.
Who, Bill?
No, Lesnar. Lesnar was in amazing shape first run.
Oh, talk about it. Why is this on the pay-per-view?
This was kind of
Prince Iaukea, who they brought in to rip off The Rock as a Polynesian, against Norman Smiley.
Do you like his hair, Prince Iaukea?
No, there wasn't much about the Prince I enjoyed.
He was a solid worker.
Prince Iaukea.
He wasn't bad. He just wasn't interesting to people, but he was good in the ring. People liked Norman.
They liked it when they gave him a gimmick. This Norman, they couldn't have given a fuck less about.
So you like the Vince Russo Norman?
I think at least he did something with him as opposed to just throwing him out there cold.
What do his dates say? Magnificent? Magic? Oh,
Magic. Yeah, that's his nickname.
Black Magic, right?
Yeah.
Norman Spillane.
I truly appreciate Norman's wrestling shoes.
I'm a boots guy.
Great observation. Do you think a donation towards the bike fund, Quincy would do the wiggle on camera Thursday night? The only problem, Chris, is I don't know if Quincy would have any idea what the big wiggle is. We'd have to show him on video.
Oh, he'll do it.
But Quincy, I can almost virtually guarantee he would.
He'd sell Billy Earl out for $5.
You know what I'd like to see Quincy do? A spin-a-rooney. Could you imagine him trying to do the spin-a-rooney? A Quincy-rooney.
I don't really want to think of that.
Eleanor is back at Pond Street, in case you were wondering.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
But you know
and she's keeping the back door unlocked.
Great. We always love that. But Phil out there, my man, we'll do 6 o'clock Slamboree 9 p on the 9th.
Sunday, January the 9th.
Sunday, January the 9th.
Sunday Night Live.
We'll do 6 p.m. Slamboree.
I'm really going to have to do the social media early for that one.
So we'll have to be able to get the set up early so we can just click on the link or just get on the Peacock.
The set, John C, was pretty good today. I did just about everything yesterday other than, you know what happened? I'm pissed off about something. I had to write up an agreement for someone. And I got distracted. And then John C showed up and we were talking Christmas and hibachis and it was like 5:15. Then I looked at the clock and it was 6:38. And I'm like, oh
wow.
We had
who was the agreement for?
It had nothing to do with wrestling.
What was that to do with?
Someone that needed a hand.
A hand.
Not Mae Young's.
Okay.
You think Lou would have? No, the hand was too small. I was going to say maybe Lou was the hand that came out of Mae Young.
Well, he was born around that time period.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Hold on 1 second. I got to see if I can get a little intel. Sorry to be rude to you folks and text on camera, but I have a situation I'm trying to deal with after spending my Christmas Eve and Christmas Day in this fine facility.
What's the situation? You don't want to be rude.
It doesn't have anything to do with wrestling.
Yeah, do you owe people money? Marty, I'm telling you, your activities outside the ring, he's going to end up like Gino Hernandez one day.
You know, I've always said if there's anyone out there that's ever watched the movie Big Fish, that's what my death is going to be like. When all these different people from all these different parts of my Dan Mirade world come together at one funeral home at the same time, and they're all going to look at each other and they're going to be like, holy fuck.
What was this guy up to?
We thought he was fucked to begin with. And now this was really good. It was really this bad. You never saw the movie Big Fish?
No, what year did that come out? Who's in it?
Late 90s, early 2000s.
It's like a Big Lebowski kind of thing?
No, it was a movie about a guy that really didn't get along with his dad because he thought the dad was a storyteller. He was in the circus at one point. He did
So you love the dad.
Not too far off of almost Forrest Gump type of life.
Okay.
And then at the end, when the dad finally died, when all of these people came to the wake, and the son he couldn't believe that all of this shit was actually true. And I think that's for the people, like when I was the little.
Was there good truths or bad truths to it, or a little bit of both?
No, it was pretty much all good. But it was just so larger than life, it was hard for this kid to accept the fact that it was real. It's like, oh, okay, Dad.
Yeah.
Okay, Dad. Then he gets to the lake and they're all there. It was a really great movie. If anyone's ever seen Big Fish,
Anyone have any note in there? Any?
Danny DeVito was in it.
Oh,
I think Jessica Lange was the wife.
excellent actor, Danny DeVito, and Jessica Lange too.
Would you let Jessica Lange please you?
From then or now?
Eva.
I don't know. She's not really my type.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a little older now. What about you, John C? Would you throw it in Jessica Lange? Is that a thumb? Oh, no, it was a shoulder shrug. He's not sure.
Different.
Do you know who Jessica Lange is? You ever see American Horror Story?
You ever see It? The new It that came out?
Jessica Lange was in it?
Yes.
The fuck did she do in it?
Wait a minute, Jessica Lange. Oh, I'm thinking of someone else. The blonde American Horror, the woman who was in the mother of the dead.
Yeah, she had the challenged daughter.
The old Southern lady, Jessica Lange.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of someone else. Maybe that's another woman to think of. I know who that is, and no, I would not have her pleasure me.
No.
Would you
Sorry.
have her pleasure you?
No. Sorry, Jessica. I don't like smokers. I'd like to see Quincy spit the green mist Muda to Jerry Kabuki style and blind John Nord. John Nord selling it.
The great Quincy.
Do you imagine Quincy trying to blind John Nord and Nord not? Just can you imagine the conversation between those two?
I just imagine,
the fans are going to be in for a real treat that
let me
weekend.
imagine, ask you this. We should get a camera and get like a big van, and it'd be you, myself, Captain Lou.
No.
Hold on, Marty, Jannetty, Nord, and Quincy.
And who?
Those, so Nord, Quincy, and Jannetty, and then Captain Lou, and then so 6 of us. So essentially, what, 6 or 7 of us in a big van, like a caravan or something like that, driving down the roads. Could you imagine that van, the insanity?
It would be something.
It would be.
The only thing, the only thing I think that could make it worse was if Tony came down and him and Nord started arguing about that breakfast that they had together again. And Nord was getting hit by debris from Tony's mouth. There was egg, there was bacon. And I felt it because I used to feel out of the left side of Tony's mouth chicken wing debris.
Oh, were
Even
those
a
chicken
good
wings
6 feet away.
The chicken wings that he had to pay for?
Yeah, paying for his own meal, believe it or not. I tell you, this week, you want to talk about solving mysteries, Phil. On Wrestling Insider's Throwback Thursdays, this Thursday night at 10 p.m., John Nord attempts to solve the Marty Jannetty murder mystery. I got to tell you, John Nord was a home run. He may be a grand slam. Forget about a home run.
Well,
I love John Nord.
I actually have a question. I know we're talking about January 9th. We're going to do Slamboree 98. What do you want to do January 2nd?
That's a good question.
Because it is, I mean, what are you thinking of? Do you want to do something different? Do you want to do what would you want to do? I have a couple of ideas, but nothing majorly concrete.
We also have day one on January 1st. I don't know if you were interested in that. Extravaganza live from Atlanta. No.
What's day one?
Uncle Vince. Roman and Brock collide over
oh, God.
the heel turn on Paul Heyman.
We don't need to see that match again.
The Chattahoochee Challenge, as Phil just called.
Well, but for January 2nd, anything? I have a couple of ideas.
Well, let's hear your ideas.
Well, January, it's Rumble time. So we could do a Rumble, or we could do a Clash of Champions, a little bit shorter show, but they have some good. There are some really good clashes.
I will let you pick because it is a new year.
How about this? Let's put it out to the people out there.
Well, we already have one poll going about the start time, and it looks like they prefer 6.
Okay, 6 o'clock works.
64. Let me just double check. It looks like 64-36 right now.
Okay.
So I think maybe they like the even time too. Maybe it's easy to remember. I don't know.
All right. What would
John C didn't really care, he said.
To who? To the time?
Yeah. Well, John C said 6, but his hair said 7.
Right, yeah, that's true.
But they argued, but I guess John C.
You want me to pick the show?
Sure.
I'm hard for picking. I'm so indecisive. What would how about this? To the people out there, let's just throw a few shows out there.
Why don't, maybe we should end this poll and start a new one.
But you have to give them choices, don't you?
Yeah.
I was thinking of open-ended question. Like,
all right, well, you can do that too if you like.
We do an open-ended question, being like, hey, what would you want to see?
What are you? It's all about you, baby, in 2022.
Because a Rumble, okay, I can say this, a Rumble would be good.
What watch-along should we do with John Nord?
With a Rumble, would you rather pick let me ask you this, with a Rumble, would you rather pick a later Rumble or an earlier Rumble? Like a Rumble maybe from, I'm not saying later like 2 years ago, but maybe within like something from the Attitude Era or something from the early 2000s? Or
I'm easy.
You're easy? Okay.
But what about John Nord?
When he's here?
Yes. What should we watch along with John?
For a match or a show?
No, for a show.
Oh, he's going to be here Sunday.
He's going to be here for 3 days, yeah.
Do you want
it has to be a John Nord inspired event, of course.
Does he have to have the show? He has to be on the show.
It's kind of slim pickings.
Well, no, he was there at 91 and 93.
I think it would have. Oh no, he was on Survivor Series 91, Rumble 92.
We did the 91 Survivor Series though.
Oh well, all right, scratch that.
let me do a quick.
So we're talking not Royal Rumble 92 or Royal Rumble 93. I think is what it boils down to with John Nord.
Let me do a quick Google search.
Can Annie come into the studio with Quincy? I'd love to see that. We were actually talking if Quincy would let Annie do it. I had to explain to Quincy what her Liam Neeson in Taken like special skill was.
Oh, geez, that was
slim pickings.
Slim pickings. So let me see here.
The bad guy. Yo.
He wasn't.
I enjoyed John Nord's imitation of Scott.
He was in Rumble 92 and 93.
And that is one, I have to say this, Royal Rumble 92 is one of my favorite WWF pay-per-views ever.
Let's do Royal Rumble 92 then.
For Nord?
For Nord.
John Nord?
We'll do Royal number 92. And then, so that'll be two.
Right.
So we've got Slamboree 98 for the 9th. And then on the 23rd, we've got Royal Rumble 92. So maybe we'll pick. Did we do Royal Rumble 91?
No.
We didn't do that?
I think we were going to save that for Marty because of the opening match.
Right.
The Rockers and the Orient Express.
Maybe
well, Danny, you're going to be happy then, brother.
Is Rumble 97 a good show? That's a very interesting show because it's
that was the Dome. That was good.
That was an interesting show because to me that's like the end of the new generation era. It's the very end of it, I think.
Back-to-back Starrcades where Scott is involved, but really not involved in an actual match, unless there's a match coming up where he's in T-shirt and jeans.
Well, let's do open-ended. How about this? Because it's January, throw out some Royal Rumbles that you guys like. We'll do 92 when John Nord is here, and we'll do
John Nord.
We'll do that. I think it'd be interesting to do a late 90s WWF pay-per-view. 97, 98, maybe.
Why not?
Yeah. All right, let's open it to the chat. Throw out a Royal Rumble that you would like to see, or another wrestling show that you would like us to see. Just throw something out there.
You want a later one that I thought was really actually excellent?
What was that?
Rumble 07. If you really want to go off the deep end.
I don't know, that's a little too new, maybe.
Too new. All right.
I don't know.
All right.
Well, it could be. That's when Cena comes back at. No. That might have been 08, I think it was.
Yeah. Quincy needs to bring back. Everybody wants Quincy in the purple shirt.
It's just that's
Did
how
you ever
over.
see his pimpin' purple shirt? He only had it on one night. Now he's gone with this salmon shirt.
What if someone stole that shirt?
Oh, he'd go. He wouldn't. He'd discombobulate. He wouldn't know what to do. He wears the same shirt every day, every week, weekly. It's like a rotation. It's like a baseball player with their superstitions. Rick Howard wants the JYD Ric Flair Coastal Crush Clash of Champions.
That could be something.
It's not going in any kind of chronological order. Chance wants a WCW Battle Ball. Are you referring to 93 when it was its own individual event, Chance? I got to say this.
What about Phil? What does Phil want for January 2nd?
Phil, do you have any ideas for January 2nd? Matthew McHale says SummerSlam 97 Heart and Soul. John C. Reilly's coming out with his pick, I think. I guess no. Oh no, I heard footsteps. All right.
That's an interesting pick. Scott Hall at maybe the turning point for him.
Look at Reilly coming out to watch a little Starrcade. Look at this. He wants to know what Scott Hall is up to with this little green cup.
What's in the green cup?
Water.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Do I have to do a taste test?
Do you want to? You want to?
If mine runs out, I might. Rick, yes, just incredible. We were ready to put him on the side of a milk carton, but I spoke to him a couple of days before Christmas. We'll be back with Wrestling Insiders Extreme before you know it. I'm disappointed that we unfortunately had to start and stop, but Justin kind of went, I guess, busy with life. Is that a polite way of saying it? Charles in charge over there?
I think so. That might be the best way of saying it.
PC for PJ.
PC.
Politically correct.
Oh, yes.
You know,
yes.
we don't want to job him out. I
No.
like Justin. 2005 WWE New Year's Revolution. Matt Kocher wants the Saturday night's main event right before WrestleMania 3 with the Battle Royal that featured Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. That was a good one. Excuse me again. Again, folks, I did something to my phone where I can't see the text when it pops up on the front screen.
Boomer issues.
Uber issues?
Boomer issues.
Boomer? What does that mean?
Like
Charlie.
a boomer, like a baby boomer.
You think I'm a baby boomer?
No, but it's just like a general blanket term now.
Aren't you funny over there? Looks like you're back to using hair product again, where you're
Yes, I have.
the C main is a little calm.
Oh, we got Bam Bam Bigelow.
My uncle said I look more like Weird Al now.
I can see that.
What do the Rileys think of your hair? Have they just come to terms with it, or
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. He said he liked it wilder, though. My aunt actually brought up my namesake.
John C. Reilly?
Yeah,
Why did your aunt bring John C. up?
because my cousin was talking about, like, he was watching stuff on YouTube. She asked me if I watch anything on YouTube. I'm like, a lot of like alt comedy stuff.
What's alt comedy?
Like I guess mainstream comedy would be like a comedy movie, or like
I watch a lot of
Or-
comedians and I listen to some podcasts. Like I like
Maybe you watch the same ones.
Mark
Maybe you have that in
Norman and
common.
Theo Vaughn and stuff like that.
alt comedians are more, I don't know how to put it. I guess just weird.
Well, who named someone?
Tim Heidecker is a big one.
Okay, I don't know.
But he and John C. Reilly worked together.
It's weird to hear you
I know,
say it.
I know, I know. When she said it, I'm like, oh, me?
You thought you thought she was ribbing you.
I don't know,
So
but
she must be watching the wrestling.
But what was it? How'd it go? Whatever. But we ended up talking about Tim Heidecker and the show he co-created with John C. Reilly. Check it out with Dr. Steve Brule.
cool.
That
With who?
show's check it out with Dr. Steve Brule.
Steve Brule?
Brule.
Brule?
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know
it's a
him.
character John C. Reilly plays.
Oh, it's a character that he plays. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you prefer to watch bad shows or really like kind of ironically?
No, I
like,
actually enjoy good ones, believe it or not.
okay, well that's good for me to know.
All
then,
right.
because as I try to think of good shows, but
But
I
you know
haven't
what?
watched
I
everything.
think anything pre-death of WCW and ECW, I have zero problem sitting through.
Okay.
Even if it's not great, at least it takes me out of that mind
you talked
frame.
about Rumbles that you liked. You liked the 92 Rumble.
Mhm.
I will say this. Not that the whole show is based on the Rumble match, but the Rumble match is a very big part of the show, obviously. I watched, I think, Rumble 95 or just the Rumble match. That was rough. But Brett and Diesel had a good match. So,
all right.
but it depends on what else you have in that
But
card. You know?
Yeah, I mean, the undercard certainly can help it an awful lot.
Yeah.
Any chance of getting Sid in the studio? Rick, I've tried to get Sid so many times. We sat with Sid at WrestleCon in New Orleans because he's good friends with Bob Hawley, and Bob Hawley was with us. It's just
Is he like a Vader?
You're right. No, not like that. He's kind of a quiet, reserved man, and you have a great chance of him no-showing, unfortunately. And we never want to do that, and we have zero control over it. I mean, we don't go to the guys' homes and hold their hands to get them to the airport to fly to Boston, you know?
Damn right. Are you wearing sneakers?
Yeah, somebody asked earlier.
Did they?
What happened to the slides?
These were specially made for me on
you?
one of my New York endeavors.
Wow.
Really?
Because I've been going, I think I've been going back and forth weekly, which is...
You might as well live there at this point.
Well, see, here's the thing. People say, oh, that's a long day. It's more than just a long day because the night before, where I fly out so early, I have to go to bed early to try and get up. Go to the airport, go through the whole day, fly home that night. Then I'm so tired from the day before, I'm kind of grumpy, Mirade, the next day here at the studio.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot.
So where do you get the
But I've
shoes from?
become very good friends with all my friends in the 11:45 p.m. JFK flight from JFK to Boston on JetBlue.
They do the same flight every week?
It's every night.
Oh, every night.
I don't do it every night, but I mean, they offer it every night. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then I argue with the Uber and Lyft drivers about the handicap pickup area.
Well.
They claim it doesn't exist.
So where do you get the sneakers from?
Oh, well, when I went to New York with these people that I've been engaging with, that you folks may find out about sooner than later, to try and give me a more professional touch, had these 14 and a half wide shoes made for me.
You're 14 and a half.
Yes,
Wow.
thinking it will not cause CRPS attacks in my feet. Because
So
I said the first time I go to the hospital, because of a CRPS flare-up from wearing these, they're going to get quite the phone call. But they said, trust it. So I am on day now, what's today, Sunday? This is so far I've only worn them in studio.
So how do they feel? I mean, the slides you've been wearing for years, right?
I haven't worn, this is the first time I've worn shoes since 2008.
Wow.
I feel like I'm walking on jello.
But the slides, though, unless it's brutally cold outside, it doesn't bother you, does it?
The only time it really bothers me is when there's snow and slush and it gets in my socks. Then I turn into one miserable human being.
Or
But at
it's
the
raining.
cold,
Yeah.
maybe it's because I'm so used to it. But
Oh, good for you. I hope
yeah,
it was-
I'm very impressed you noticed.
So-
Someone in the chat noticed, though?
yeah, they asked what happened to the slides.
Oh, well, I'm impressed with whoever asked because I was waiting for it the other night during Quincy's Wrestling Challenge.
And now Chance is saying that you should
14
sell.
and a half, Phil. What's that now?
Chance is saying that you should sell Boston Wrestling slides.
I don't think I'm that big of a star. I have Patrick Clark, Velveteen Dreams, Uggs here at the studio still.
Really?
We have any foot for us
I was a
out
big
there?
fan of
Patrick,
his.
wait, what did you say?
You were or were not?
I am.
Oh, you are? Well,
Yeah.
well, maybe you can have one.
What did you say their name was?
The Velveteen Dream, Patrick Clark from
Yes.
NXT, a man that was
Oh, okay.
ousted from the company.
No,
Enjoyed conversing with youngins on social media.
I was confused for a second because I know a Patrick Clark who lives in the area.
It was not that one, I'm going to guess, because he's not from this area. Holy moly is right, Phil. It's hard enough to find them, but these are not only, it's almost like that casket they made for Yokozuna, double wide, double deep. I was called into a special room for these shoes. I said, I really don't want to do it.
So this professional touch you mentioned, you saying you're replacing me, or are these like connections?
No. Nothing like you. You see, you're part of the family, brother. You got nothing to worry about. But as far as when I go to New York, they want me to, I guess, be more physically appealing. And they think that wearing these shoes are going to do it, as opposed to my wonderful, comfortable, easy on, easy off Nike slides. They're like having whores for feet. They're easy.
Whores for feet?
Whores for feet.
That is
Footwear, I should say.
that is quite the
My feet are not whores, but my footwear are.
Well, I mean,
Easy on, easy off.
I would never call you. Well, I would call you a whore for certain things, but that in a good way.
Easy on, easy off when it comes to getting through the TSA.
Now, would you call Tony Atlas a whore for feet?
Yes, but in a much, much different way.
Yes, that's true.
Charles Boots, they make me think of an Eskimo woman.
Hey, that's not a bad thing.
Are they
all.
comfortable, though?
Very.
All right.
I the first time I noticed them, I was surprised.
Me or him?
Him.
Are they double wide, double deep?
Charlie?
What's that?
Are they double wide, double deep like the Mirades?
No, they're not. They're not. They're just regular.
It's just that I haven't seen a pair since like the early 2000s.
I've had these for a little while. I had another pair that they kind of fell apart, but I just think they're just so comfortable, so I wear them. I'll be wearing these honestly for the next
Are they
3
meant
months
for
easy.
indoor? Are they meant for outdoor wear?
I'd say so.
Oh, they are. Okay.
But I would say I'll be wearing these honestly for like the next 3 months nonstop.
Yeah.
Is this an annual thing?
What's that?
Is this an annual thing?
It's the snow tires.
Yeah. I pretty much like but you see me how I come here in the summer in my shorts and sandals and my t-shirts, and then in the summer in the wintertime I'm in sweats.
Showing off the guns filled with gas.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was a bit gassed up at that time.
At that point you were.
But within in
Phil
6
was jealous.
But 6 months from now, I'll be looking like Hogan from 9, and then it'll be I'll be lean and
You're gonna
thin
be
and tan.
You'll be about as thick as Lou. If that's the case.
Be about 160 pounds by 4th of July.
Well, that'd be a lot more than Lou. But I heard the cat could kill a man with just his thumb. I don't know about his thumb, but I know he is well versed in the martial arts. Perry Satin, though, for you guys that don't know, a dangerous man as well. Quite a military background. I've known Perry an awful long time.
You had a
And
bad
I
encounter
think
with
I
him.
told you the story. Yes, he disappointed me very much as a human being.
Mm.
The Kowloon Entertainment Dining Complex, pretending he didn't know me.
Well,
And I really thought that was an asshole move. And you know what I said that day? I will never book Perry Satin. And you know what? One of the two of us has lived under a bridge in Minnesota, and it's not me.
could you imagine if Norwalk? Is that Perry Satin?
Hey, Perry, I think we got some room at my home.
And I thought Perry Satin was an excellent talent.
Talent-wise, yeah. Human being?
But no, before you knew him, was he okay before that? What was he like personally back in the day? Seemed like he was a serious guy.
Reserved, serious. Yeah, it's a good way to put it. He took part in a hit at Champs Arena on Salisbury Beach where the police got
maybe
involved.
Dana was the protein diet.
Maybe what?
Maybe it was the protein diet, if you catch my drift. Was Perry juiced at that point?
Everybody was, and not everybody was an asshole. Cronus was a great guy, Phil. He was right from Everett, right down the street from us.
I heard he was a little goofy, but he was a good dude.
Very much so, but he was a really good guy.
How did he die? Was it drug overdose?
It had to have been at his age.
He was early 30s, right? What happened?
No, he wasn't dead that early. No. He was probably about my age now.
But with him, so here's my question with Cronus.
Yeah.
He was ECW.
Yeah.
He was with Perry. Perry left.
Yeah.
I don't know if Cronus was ever going to go to another to WCW with him, but he leaves. He gets put with New Jack, I think, and after that, he just kind of falls off the map. Nothing really happened with him, and
there was. I hate to say it because I liked him personally. There just wasn't much there.
And he wasn't a bad
gelled
worker.
to perfection with Perry. He needed Perry.
But he wasn't bad in the ring. I mean, he needed someone to guide him. I just think what I'm trying to say, Dan, is in that era, when the big two companies, WCW and WWF, were signing everyone and their mother, they couldn't have cared less. And he wasn't a small guy at all. He wasn't small.
Nope.
He was athletic as hell. You could say he wasn't a great worker, but his stuff looked good. He just needed someone to guide him.
He could look really good in spots.
Yeah.
For a big guy to do some of the things he
had guys
did.
like that in the companies.
Oh, that was in ECW. There were a lot of them.
But in WWF, WCW, there were a lot of guys like that. So what I'm saying is, if he could have been, I could see Cronus getting to a big company in 99, 2000. But would he have had a long run there? Probably not.
No. Look at Reilly. What's he Googling him?
But wonder what he was doing.
No, I was reading the chat.
Was he working past ECW in a wrestling?
I mean, he did some indies, but nothing of any consequence.
He wasn't wrestling when he died, I don't think. That was 2007, I think he died in. I'm pretty sure it was like 2007.
That sounds about right, but
Charlie, Mr. Wonderful wants to know if you can sing a Charlie Pride song.
Charlie
A what?
Pride?
Charlie Pride.
I have no idea.
Charlie Pride?
July 07.
You'd have to explain what Charlie Pride is.
No idea.
Proud of being Charlie.
Yeah,
I
Phil
don't know.
understands. Big and agile, had a good personality, goofy. Yeah, pretty much sums him up. Hell of a nice guy. But he just, sometimes when you're in a tag team and you get out of the tag team, you don't know what to do.
So I haven't.
This is absurd.
Yeah, that's a disqualification. You can't do that.
Well, he didn't make physical contact yet.
Actually, you know what? I do have an idea for January 2nd. It's funny
Sure.
because I just watched the show a couple months ago, but I've been raving about it. Clash of Champions won.
We could do that. Oh, wait a minute.
That's an excellent show.
Well, if you'd like to, we could do that next
could.
Sunday
We could do it. It's an idea.
on day 2. Big win for Perry Satin at Starrcade on another match that shouldn't have been on this show.
Or here's another idea. Rumble 2000 or 2001 were good.
Rumble, both of those were excellent shows.
We could do one.
Excellent shows.
We could do one of those.
I was at both of them. Excellent shows.
Do you have a preference over one of them?
Nope. I believe the 2001 one was the first time I was ever in New Orleans. Unlike when the little Dutch boy from Holland roamed New Orleans the weekend of WrestleMania 34. Scared.
Scared. What was he scared of?
I think that's a black person.
Well, New Orleans has a lot of black people.
Well, he was
Louisiana
scared. He was
generally has a
little
lot of
nervous.
Holland does not.
The blankets were going up over the head. You know what I mean? He was a little nervous.
Kind of like when
A little nervous.
like
Woo!
oh, they were doing the angle Bischoff and
In old age.
yeah. This is the Bischoff's second Starrcade back to back.
Yeah, they'd bring him out for the big ones. That kid in the Wolfpack shirt. Jesus Christ. It looks like a Wolfpack.
Great robe on
Like-
Flair. This was my
I like
favorite
that
robes.
one.
One of my favorite Flair robes.
Very Liberace.
He had some
Do
gaudier
you have a
ones.
robe like that, John C? I could see you
No,
walking around your house.
I do not own a robe.
I got a robe for
At all.
Christmas. It says Charlie on it.
Really?
Yeah,
You should wear it down here.
I should.
Almost like Hugh Hefner and just relax.
Like
as you
across-
with
like
my
across the
ponytail
back.
and
ponytail and
look
your
like Rick
robe.
Martel.
Wonder how much booze the two of them had at whatever hotel they went back to that night. I think Gene still got a cocktail in his hand. Horseman, barred from the building.
David Shand likes your jumper, Charlie.
My jumper?
Yeah.
When am I supposed to my jumper?
Your sweater.
Oh, no, thanks. Appreciate it.
They called it a sweet pimpin' maroon jumper.
Yeah, just
Ric Flair's still
Oh, they
alive.
said the name Benoit.
he is, yes.
Flair is bling blinging.
Are there any shows that you would like to see for us to review? Nothing in particular?
I'm easy. What they like, what you like, what John C suggests, I'll
Because we both like Mania 3, and maybe we should do that show. coming
and
up.
maybe at WrestleMania time as we get close to the big day.
And I think we should definitely do one of those video game streams that I was talking about.
What?
The last time we were here and I was talking about like just take a WWE game, make a bunch of crazy characters of people.
Oh, right. Yeah, that
And
sounds kind
we
of
do,
fun.
the thing with that too is that we can actually show it.
Mirade Piggott.
Yeah, we can do.
They're making video games of me. Does Quincy have a robe? Well, Phil, no. As we've noted, Quincy likes to, when it's shower time at night, he likes to get naked in his bedroom and run through the Rustani home nude until he gets to the shower.
I love how when you ask him, do you like to do this? And he doesn't answer the question. Marty!
He just gets angry about it. Can you just see Quincy with a big heap of clothes under his arm, running through the house in the dark naked? After Eleanor keeps the back door unlocked for him.
What about Billy Earl?
Is there a Billy Earl?
Julie Earl.
Julie Earl. Well, you got to meet Julie. I didn't.
I'm the exact opposite of Quincy. I always
don't get naked and run through the Reilly home.
No, I bring a second set of clothes with me.
That's, believe it or not, how I do it. Yeah, I bring the clothes that I'm going to wear with me into the bathroom when I shower.
They're all nice and warm from the steam.
Yeah, you're a little more relaxed. I don't run nude through the house.
I feel like you would, though.
Me?
I feel like you would.
You think Quincy's ever
Like,
got lost?
like when he runs things like Ultimate Warrior style, shaking the ropes and shaking the towels, and his brother's like, Quincy, put on some clothes, and he's like, "Ma," and he's like, just getting into it. Yeah.
Sure.
Is that guy a wrestler?
Also,
he's a
I think it's
manager?
funny that we talked about shows.
He was in charge of the company,
I
and then they turned him into a villain character.
I want to say, though, no matter what show we do, we end up talking about usually God knows what instead of the show.
Yes.
We could have any show on the background. We'll watch it, but it's
Vince?
very much in and out of it.
He was Vince's enemy.
Oh, okay, so it isn't Vince.
This was a rival company, WCW.
Okay.
He wanted to put WWE out of business in reality.
Which was not a good idea.
No. Ned Flanders bathes in his swimsuit on The Simpsons, according to Phil DeCesare, not to be confused with Treasury.
Well, it sounds like Treasury.
It sounds like Treasury.
I've never done that. I've accidentally left my socks on once. That was...
Oh.
You ever done that?
I'm just glad Quincy has never mistaken the studio for his home.
I don't...
And when I look out the door...
Just getting naked.
I have seen...
Have you seen
hold on. Whoa.
I have seen Quincy.
Naked?
No. This was at Nahant Beach. And him and the... You know Puppet, right?
Yeah.
You've never met the Puppet. They were trying
Did he
to...
no-show the show for...
Yes. They were trying to reenact the scene from Jaws. Quincy's bathing suit had to have been 40 years old to be kind.
Wow.
I mean, the thread was almost crying. It was so loose. And Quincy did the scene where he ran and dove into the ocean. And all I could do when he was running was picture him running to the bathroom to take a shower.
So you'd never
But anyway, what'd you say, John C?
You'd never seen him run before that?
I think he can run.
It's awkward. But then again...
It'd be more of like a limp.
No, there was more to it than that.
I imagine his arms go wild.
He put on quite a show at Shaw's this week. And I mean a show of shows.
What does he do there at Shaw's? Does he work at Shaw's?
No, he just goes on Thursday when he's here at the studio to get some snacks.
My mom said you sicked Quincy on Cecil.
Oh, was she there?
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I had known. I would have gone to have said hello. I always sick Quincy on Cecil. He goes, "Hi, Lion. Hi, Lion. Hi, Lion." Cecil's trying, pretending like he doesn't hear him. But Cecil the Lion is another that Charlie has never met.
He's only working Mondays at Shaw's now.
Really?
Yes.
One day a week?
Yep.
By choice?
Yep. He has another job at JJ Grimsby's & Co.
Oh, the restaurant?
Are we going after this? Are they open right now? Probably not.
Quincy should have managed Luke and Butch. Matt, who do you think would have been better, Quincy or Jameson? Look who it is. Buff is the stuff, baby. Look at Charles mesmerized.
Guys, look at his back. It's so huge. Oh, they kicked Conan out of the NWO after this.
What a very hot angle they did here. Wait a minute. Lex is trying to hold him back with everything he's got.
Look at Conan's earrings. There's a lot of earrings he had. This was probably WCW right before everything fell apart.
This, a lot of people, even according to our good friend Bobby Heenan, said this was the night. This was it. What is this? Another shit 6-man with the NWO?
Oh God,
We
Virgil.
saw this last week.
No, Virgil's just there to.
No, he's just the manager in this one.
He's just the Virgil.
He's just Virgil.
If I had a son, I think I'd like to name him Virgil.
A son named Virgil.
Well, there was a poet named Virgil
Well, there was Dusty Rhodes.
back in the ancient Roman times. Look at Scott Norton.
Do you know what Cecil does by any chance?
I heard he
I
models.
believe he's a host.
Oh,
I heard he's the face of autism.
that's what his mother
Now the
said.
face of J.J. Grimsby and Co.
Now, unfortunately, it's going to be closed too early tonight, John C. But
Yeah.
I now that I know this is the truth,
This is
JJ Grimsby's is going to be getting a visit from me sooner than later.
Is the food
Yeah.
good there?
Who?
The food good?
it's all right.
It's kind of like a 99.
All right.
It's not bad at all.
Oh
They
God!
removed-
Ah,
fuckers.
Jerry Flynn.
Yeah.
Have you been there since the remodel?
No.
They opened up the bar, and they got rid of all those weird knickknacks.
Oh, you've been.
I've been to Grimsby's a million times.
The Rileys enjoy Grimsby's.
I mean, we haven't been there lately, but
Yeah. So how do you know about all these updates then?
I think I went once after they
Oh,
renovated.
so you're
it.
lying a little bit. That's all right.
And they got one of those Touch Tunes jukeboxes.
Look at that mullet on every haircut on this right there. That mullet on Jerry Flynn. Were you a Jerry Flynn guy?
No, I was not a Jerry Flynn fan. I cannot believe they'd put this sack. Well, I don't know why they'd put him on Starrcade. I don't know why they'd
Or-
put Crush on
Or
Starrcade.
Finley, for that matter.
You know what? Nothing against his work, but it's not like he had anything going on at the time. Ditto Scott Norton. I mean, it's just why. One thing I never understood about WCW big event booking. And while I'll always praise my buddy Kevin Sullivan and even the work that Bischoff did, you know, a lot of it was like they were almost trying to book a house show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'd have a lot of filler in there that did not belong on a.
But WWF had that too back in the day as well.
Not to this extent.
WrestleMania 3
Jerry
had filler.
Flynn, who?
WrestleMania 3 had filler. Butch Reed and Coco Beware. Can-Am Connection.
They were
and-
at least pushed to stars on TV.
Oh, that's true.
I mean, it's not like they went on Lost every week like Jerry Flynn. I'm insulted that Jerry Flynn is on this watch along. I'm sorry for you fans.
Isn't that such a jobber name too? Jerry
Jerry
Flynn.
Flynn?
Yeah. Sounds like someone who lost to Shawn Michaels on Superstars in '92.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
I still like the idea of Quincy with the. You want to know the funny thing, Matt? Right here in Boston Wrestling MWF, I think it was Soul Survivor 7. Quincy managed Bushwhacker Luke and Bo Douglas.
What was that tag
Rick
team called?
Fuller against
The
Execution.
Slow Whackers?
Come on, man. He was a little insulted.
Can you give me a good Bo Douglas story?
Oh, too many.
Too many? Give me one that's
The fans wouldn't understand it. It's too slow.
They don't understand half the shit
And
we
so
say
he's
here.
very, very ill right now. So we
Is he?
send Slow our best for a quicker recovery than he would be
This
normally
is
used to.
You come and make a comment about him that sounds heartfelt, then you call him slow.
Well, we want a quick recovery for a slow man.
Why don't you just call him Bo?
Don't knock over my table.
All right.
Slow is his nickname to me.
Just call him Bo.
Well, that I know him as Slow. That'd be like me calling him Smith. He's John C. Manikus Reilly.
But you guys, so if Slow had a heart attack, like Slow had a heart attack.
It'd be a slow death.
You see, it sounds so fucking douchey.
He'd be laying there in the Belton Club for days and no one would know.
Oh, poor guy. He has students.
Help! Help! Help me! And no one would hear him.
But can you endorse his school?
I don't know if it would be my first choice.
Actually, if you had to go to wrestling school today, where would you go? Do you know of any in the country that you like? I know it seems a lot of guys have schools now, but
I would go to someone that is a full-time pro wrestler that made a full-time living in the sport. If they didn't, I wouldn't go there.
It's amazing
And that's
how-
not against anyone
Yeah.
in particular.
it's amazing how some of these schools, the tuition price just to get in.
And then you got that.
Yeah. I think Dustin Rhodes' school, it's like $4,000.
Is it that much?
3 to
Well, look at
4.
the family. But you're being trained by a guy that was and still is a professional wrestler, making money in the professional wrestling industry.
Here's how I look at it. If you had to pay, say, $2,500 to get into a wrestling school, and you ended up getting a contract for $150,000, it was probably a good investment.
So you said Dusty Rhodes has a school?
Oh, Dustin Rhodes' son.
Dustin.
But I would say this: if anyone wants you to sign a contract saying you give them X amount of money for the next few years, that's a big no. Don't do that. But but I would say but I would say, Dan, if you were going to pay $2 or $3 grand, or even $4 grand, you were able to get a contract, like you get to AEW, WWE, and make good money, it's worth it. If you're just going to be a guy who does indies, screw it.
Well, I mean, I think everybody should aspire to go to the major leagues if they're going to invest their time and money to do
Even
it.
if you just get to New Japan, that's a worthy investment, because New Japan you could get good money. I don't know what they pay Americans nowadays, but I'm sure guys like Omega and the Bucks did a pretty good living,
Mike, if you can, I think you're joking, but if you can email me the email that you got with the number on it, I'd be happy to send you the raffle winnings. We've been waiting for the winner to step forward. You're not going to pull one over the eyes of John C. Manikus Reilly.
Yeah. Speaking of Manikus Reilly, I need to go to the bathroom.
Now, what does John C. Manikus Reilly have to do with you using the facilities?
He just makes a movement of some sort.
Oh, all right.
He likes to make movements.
What do you think he's going to do? Attack you or something? Or
No, he's going to move into this chair when I leave.
you think Riley's going to slide on set? Like
now,
you
despite
see-
you, I won't.
Yeah, well, that's fine. He's ready. He's ready to pounce. Once I leave the room, he's just going to just jump right here. He's like, ah.
Like Cecil the Lion is the host of J.J. Grimsby's.
I was just saying, are you sure there's some water in there? You've been kind of a little fidgety.
Yeah, we were both suspicious of Riley's,
smell it.
John C.'s cup
Yeah.
and the straw. Are you suspicious of the straw or just the cup?
I think the straw is a different,
You think the straw is a work?
bit of a gimmick.
You think the straw is a gimmick?
It's a gimmick.
I want to know, what kind of a cup is it?
A little strong to me, brother.
This guy's full of shit, Dan.
What kind of a cup is it?
It's a Starbucks Christmas cup.
Yeah. And what did you put in the coffee?
It was just water,
And what was in the water?
hydrogen and oxygen.
Aren't you a smart guy? Well, we're trying to figure out what's in John C.'s cup. Yeah, Chance, you know what? If they're going to throw out two people like that no one wants to see, why not put the Cat and Jerry Flynn together? Dave Finley's haircuts back in that day were quite unique. He's ready to head back to Germany. What have you thought of Starrcade 98 so far, John?
It seems a little slow.
Well, it's a good way to put it. The first two matches were excellent. That's the funny thing. Now it feels like it's gone on for eternity with no end in sight.
Where in Germany is this guy from?
I don't remember. Could anyone tell us where Fit Finley hails from? Man that's competed at Memorial Hall in Melrose. You get to see Pig at up close and personal.
Wirklich.
I like to have seen him beat. Well, I shouldn't even say that because I'll just get myself in trouble. But he could have used the shillelagh on Pig.
Wait, so he's German, but his gimmick is that he's Irish?
Oh, you know what?
A shillelagh is...
He's from Ireland. I'm sorry, not Germany. It's been a long day. Thank you, Mike Burkhoff. We just figured that out.
It's from...
Are you impressed that he's from Ireland? And he was at Memorial Hall.
Impressed?
Yeah.
I mean, airplanes exist.
You think Piggott was excited to see him?
If he swam here, I'd be impressed.
No. He flew in from Atlanta, so I don't think he swam. You think Piggott was interested?
I don't know.
Well, Marty said she was flirting with him. Boy, Jerry Flynn's still waiting for the hot tag in this match that no one on planet Earth wants to see. Even John C. said it's just a little slow.
Phil says he's from Belfast. Belfast.
That's right. Yep, the Belfast Bruiser. See, Phil, that's why we like having you around, brother. Chance appreciates the work on this show, but no real wow factor. Well, like I said, I thought the opening match was really good. Then the second match was a little confusing how they set it up, and it's just been all downhill from there.
Like, the thing is, I feel like every time I look at the show, I look down at chat, and I look back up, it's always like the same shot. Like they have, like nothing's happened. That's why.
What about Jerry Flynn's kicks, John C?
They look real rough, judging by how he didn't move at all.
It's turning into a melee at this point. All four men in the ring. Hopefully that's a sign it's going to end momentarily. Vincent gets his in. Big clothesline from Big Scott Norton. This could be it. Powerbomb from Norton on Flynn. Stick a fork in him. Thank God it is over. The NWO victorious here at Starrcade 98 in another match that sucked.
The end was all right, I think.
You like the powerbomb?
Yeah.
Oh, Phil said Piggott was enamored with Marty. All right, well. I think Piggott probably knew how to rock back in the 80s.
I'd never met any of Marty's entourage before that night.
What do you mean?
You know, his entourage. His women.
How many were there?
I think there's like one or two.
Oh. Well, back in the day, to be fair, he had an entourage and a half.
For every
High
city?
quality, what?
For every city? Or?
Every city. That will never, with all, even in his worst of times, we can't take that away from him. He was a man that had the women, and he was rocking and rolling all night. I Piggott certainly would have been on the Do Not Disturb list. What happened? Oh, no, there it is.
There's a delightfully 90s haircut.
Nice sweater that guy had on. One thing I liked about WCW is their transitions match to match. Wasn't a lot of... How many backstage skits have we seen? How many interviews have we seen? They just keep it going.
Don the Barber says he gets weekly cameos from Virgil.
Don, is there a reason?
How much does he charge for those?
I don't know.
I'll check. Oh. If it's over like $5, come on.
Oh, I'm going to guess it's more than $5. Now, this, to me, this isn't pay-per-view material either. Even though Flair and Bischoff are in a big match on this show, this is what you put on the go-home show on Nitro the Monday before. But one man's opinion.
Responds in 3 days. That's pretty...
Huh?
It's pretty fast. He responds... You know what Cameo is?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it says he responds on average in 3 days. It's pretty fast. $85.
I wouldn't pay 85 cents.
Or it's $19.99 to get a personalized text message from him.
A personalized text message.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to guess it's not coming from his phone. Yeah, Chance, I agree with you. We miss Mean Gene, that's for sure. Well, you know what, Dawn? If it makes you happy, I'm glad you're able to interact with him in that way. Hopefully he goes out of his way to to make the messages have a little oomph. Were you doing it weekly? I never. Well, I don't. Virgil was never one of my guys. Again, I don't know why this is on the context of the pay-per-view, John C. I think it's just slowing it down even more, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, there he is. Charlie Bischoff.
I'm just kidding. I don't think there's anything in John C's cup. It's just water.
Let's
You
let's-
sure?
But last week he had something in that cup, though. I know. I can tip besides water. It's getting a little toasty over there.
I was a little bit.
Yeah. A little...
Mick Foley is 125.
I've heard that his are pretty good. Have you ever had a cameo done by someone?
No.
Would you?
I don't know.
Don the Barber has one from Virgil every week.
I heard some people are very good, like Brett's, or I've seen a few of Brett's. Cornets, those are really good. Bret Hart's cornets are very good.
My cousin got one from Chris Hansen once.
Did you tell him to sit down?
I haven't seen it in a while. It was a couple of years ago for his birthday.
Mike Burke Coffin wants a Quincy cameo. The thing is, Mike, I don't think Quincy would ever stop if we asked him to start doing the cameo.
It's for the kids. It's all for the kids.
He would pump them out in hours.
But I think the cameo itself would be ours.
That's true.
I miss pro wrestling back in the day when the wrestlers all wore leather jackets and sweatpants.
You like that?
I like that one.
Easy E's look.
Yeah, I like
Nice
Triple
and
H
comfy.
and Rock and
Jim Duggan's only 75.
He's less than Virgil. Wow.
$75. Okay, well, I didn't mean age-wise. I'm like, no, he's not that old.
How much would a Dan Mirade cameo cost? Don't you get one every week, Chance, when we're on live?
Yeah, you can just straight up ask him to make a video and he'll do it for you.
Don the Barber, who did you hit big for with the bookie today? Put the money into the barber shop, baby. Forget about Virgil. I enjoyed this version of Jericho
I did too.
very much.
What's your favorite version of Jericho besides this one?
I like the 08 version of Jericho in WWE.
I liked him I love the 90. Oh, this match is very special to me because this has.
Listen to how they're using this WWE theme.
Oh, he's got that 100
Did you
Gex
notice
hair.
that?
Yes, but I love the tights he comes out in on this match. Look at his tights when he comes out. I don't know why he's coming out first. He's the champion, but if you look at the
Dan, one from Lanny is only $50.
I wonder what Lanny does in his cameo.
those are some sweet tights.
Yeah.
Great debut in WWF. I thought they used him.
Yeah.
It was a very cool segment, though.
Too long.
Don't tell Quincy. One from Al Snow is $45.
A fan had asked, I'll see what you think.
They take a good cut from that too. The cameos.
Probably, yeah. I think it's at least a third.
Yeah.
Probably like YouTube.
Our pal Bushwhacker Luke, $39.
$39 from Luke. Could you see Quincy out there with Ralphus?
He is Ralphus.
He's twitching his head.
Imagine him as a team.
I'll give Quincy $1,000 to streak at Shaw's when Cecil is there. You know, that one he might do. He won't drink.
He would also.
They were trying to offer him money to drink whiskey the other night. He wouldn't do it.
Oh.
But I could see him getting naked. Either that or he'd go, no.
That'd be a gimmick for me to wrestle, and I'd have Quincy's personal. He'd be the Charlie personal security, the CPS, and he'd be Quincy.
Mr. T is still alive?
Do you think Jericho could have been a main event guy in WCW if they had continued around, if he had stayed there?
Oh my!
If he had stayed through Russo,
Sorry.
he might have had a fair shot.
Actually,
At least there's
Russo,
a chance.
I think Russo, I'm not saying this in a good or bad way, would have loved to have used Jericho in a higher spot. I think Jericho checks all of Russo's boxes for what he likes in a wrestler.
Yeah.
So what's Trailer Park Boys Phil Collins doing here?
Huh?
Trailer Park Boys Phil Collins. You ever seen Trailer Park Boys?
I've heard of it.
You mean
Is it-
Ralphus? Are you talking about Ralphus?
Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
On the right there?
Mm-hmm.
This is character Phil Collins. His name is just Phil Collins. He's just a different guy.
Yeah. Well, that was his. He was a truck driver, and Jericho found him at an event somewhere and said, "Hey, you want to make some money? Come on TV with me." Because he saw how he looked, and then he got into it. And I guess Ralphus liked the girls. He liked the Ralphus rats, as they call it.
Stacy Keebler, I believe, right there.
Oh, that might have been her. Yeah, that rat. Yeah, Ralphus kind of grew from there. He was in WCW.
Ralphus had a longer run than Jericho did at WCW.
Oh, I don't know about that.
He
but
did, no, because they put him with Norman Smiley
Was he there
during
in
the
2000?
Russo days. Yeah.
He got a paycheck even then.
So he was
Oh,
just
no,
a
Conan
truck
was still
driver who
WCW
got
TV
picked
champ.
up into the wrestling biz one
What's
day
that?
on a whim. He just got picked up into the wrestling
Kinda,
biz.
yeah.
Yeah, he drove the trucks with the rings and the merchandise.
Okay. So he's a truck driver. I thought he like
You know,
Like,
I emailed.
they met him at a truck stop. He was delivering oranges.
No,
to-
no, it wasn't quite that. Cool of a
I
story.
emailed Conan.
Yeah.
And
About what?
I like how you're so impressed by it.
Well, I'm just interested to see where this is going.
You're not interested. You're just like, yeah, okay.
Oh, no, not that I'm not interested. I'm just
Well,
interested
I
to see where it's
emailed his
going.
podcast show at Keep It
Okay.
100, and they read my question. And I put over Disco Inferno. I put over Disco Inferno and said he was one of the most important matches because he was in the finish in this show. Do you remember that? He's involved in the finish. And I said he's the reason why Jericho met his wife, who he's still with today, who was at the Capitol riots, I believe.
Yes.
Yes, his wife went to the friggin' Capitol riots about a year ago, actually, today, almost.
Ariel Pink and that guy from Bob's Burgers.
But and the guy from Iced Earth was there too.
I don't know what that is.
He's a band, a metal band. But anyway, so I said Conan was a great mic guy. He could talk on the mic, but he was not a very good in-ring worker. And Conan buried me and said that I have no idea what I'm talking about and that I should be dogpiled by a bunch of guys as a punishment. I said, well, I don't know if that's a punishment for me, but it's certainly something. But he didn't like the fact that I called him a bad worker, even though I said he was good on the mic. Because I never thought he was that great in the ring.
I agree with you on that.
Especially in this era. I don't think he was that good. Look, he just waves him off like go in the next spot.
I love his 100 Gex hair.
Who, Jericho?
Is it the blonde?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Conan wasn't the worst guy, but he wasn't that good.
You think he would have been better off staying in Mexico?
Well, I think maybe from what I understand, the money in Mexico was drying up in the mid-90s. But I think he wanted to go be a star in America, and he had that cross. And listen, he was charismatic. He could talk. He was over. He just was not a great in-ring worker. I think he would have been a better manager than anything else.
He was good with LAX after his
Yeah.
in-ring career wound down. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Very good with LAX.
He's a smart guy, not stupid. I think Disco Inferno was a better worker than Conan out of the two.
They should add more glass.
I don't know. I don't know if I disagree with that, to be honest. What did you say, John C?
They should just add more glass.
Add more glass?
Just like in general. Just like,
Breaking it, you mean?
yeah.
You want death matches on Starrcade?
Is that what entails a death match?
Jesus.
I mean, they can
Broken
use sugar.
glass.
They can use sugar glass if they want.
They
I'm not
could,
going to
they could.
judge.
They used that with Janetti.
Who?
The sugar glass. Remember in the barber shop?
Oh, I think you meant we should.
No, they didn't use the sugar glass. Wasn't that real glass they used with him?
No.
I can't remember. That was sugar glass?
They had 3 of them just to make sure nothing happened.
But didn't they use the real one with him?
No.
That was sugar.
It would hurt.
Thing
to do
is,
a
Mike,
real
if
one.
you don't agree with Conan and Disco, they bury you.
I
try to be a little more reasonable.
don't think but Disco to me has one of the smartest minds in the business. Extremely intelligent. What does that look, Dan? You look away. Look at me when you make those
Mike
looks.
Burke says Charlie is on drugs.
Who?
You,
Who said that?
Mike Burke.
Do you have that right there in front of you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Better drugs than you, pal.
Phil wants to see naked Quincy like dressed up like naked Midian in a flesh-colored body stocking, running around.
You know, Phil, I could say some interesting things to you that Dan Mirade said to me about naked Quincy and about you, actually, of all people being
With
naked.
Phil and naked Quincy?
The things that you messaged me, I could sell these in a book about Quincy. All the jokes you make about him.
But with Phil?
Well, you make jokes about Phil. You make jokes about everyone.
But Quincy getting naked with Phil?
You say things about that all the time.
I do?
Usually about
You're
Phil.
going to have to send me a screenshot. I don't remember that.
Well, usually you talk about Phil and Quincy ad nauseum.
I do?
Yes. Every time you message me, you say something about Quincy. Or Phil.
Other than Thursday, I can't think of a reason why I would.
Yeah. What about Phil? Do you decline on that one?
I know we've discussed Phil. I don't ever remember him in naked Quincy coming up in the same text message. Poor Phil would never come back.
Yeah, poor Phil. No, but usually I think if anything, you'd message me about how crazy Quincy's doing at the studio.
Oh, I'll usually give you the blow-by-blow report of that.
Yeah. And
What
with,
day do you do that? Thursday?
What's that?
You do that Thursday?
Thursday nights. Yeah.
Okay,
So
I'll
you're
have
going to
to
come by
Yeah, I'll have to swing by
for
next
Quincy's wrestling challenge.
Thursday. Yeah.
Naked Quincy.
I just want a chance to, just interview Quincy.
how much money would someone have to pay you to get naked with Quincy?
Lots and lots and lots.
Like a 10 ski?
more.
2 10s.
More.
$50.
$50?
But you're not in public. You're just running around
You think I'm going to run around nude with Quincy for $50?
in his house while the
Okay,
shower is
50
Are you
going
man.
on.
shitting me?
50 bands.
50 bands?
That's,
Yeah.
50K?
Yeah.
yeah, 50K, I would do it.
Now, what would what would it entail?
You have to run around.
You
in
just have to do an entire stream naked with Quincy.
On video? No.
Look at John C. smile. He was like, "Oh, I'd love to see this."
For 50,000?
No, I would not. I wouldn't sit here naked for 50,000 with.
You
or
would
without
have
Quincy.
something covering your piece.
What?
You would have something covered. You can't have nudity on YouTube. You can't. Yeah.
Just stream it on Pornhub.
Well, you could do that.
Well, maybe there's an idea for Quincy. He did try, and at one point, actually, believe it or not, folks, tried to become a male stripper.
When was this?
The late 90s, maybe.
What was it?
Was it like put on by like
Imagine
Boogie
taking
Nights
off
or
that
something?
purple
Like,
shirt.
No, there was a place in Malden with you. They rent them out.
Oh,
and
the
I guess
Squire.
Quincy. No. This was this wasn't.
or that's Revere, I think. Actually.
This wasn't a public thing. You know, it was like almost like an office
Oh, okay.
where
Yeah.
the quote unquote workers would go. And Quincy showed up one morning at like 6, wanting a gig. I don't know if he tried out for them.
Did he know what it entailed?
Yes,
He knew full well I'm going to have to get almost naked.
he loves to dance, and I guess he was willing to do it for the money.
God bless him.
See, Phil understands.
Are there any old tapes of his earlier shows, Quincy?
If anything, our studio director might have them. Dan, did you, Charles, and John C. get some good Christmas gifts? I know John C. got a hell of a Christmas gift.
Yeah, I got an espresso maker.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Very cool. That's good. I got some nice gifts.
What did you get for Christmas other than your robe that said Charlie?
I got
on
a
it?
guitar amp.
An amp?
You're going to
I got
play
an
for
amp.
us.
I got a guitar amp. Maybe I should bring it in one day.
Dream.
Maybe I'll have to.
I have a bass.
Oh wow.
Fuck, we'll have a
Well,
concert.
it's my dad's.
Good.
Quincy can sing.
Quincy can sing. We can get you a makeshift drum kit.
And I'll observe like those two old guys on the Muppet Show.
I got that. I got some gift cards.
Should get Quincy to do a cover of like Holiday in Cambodia or something.
Something like that. Yeah. Maybe like some Butthole Surfers or something
Oh
like that.
my
We could just
God.
jam
He's
on
got
that.
some go-tos. Don't worry about that.
We could do Cunts by Butthole Surfers. You know that song. It's ridiculous.
What is it?
This is a bunch of weird sounds going cunt, 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 cunt.
This could be it for Chris Jericho.
If
ladies.
we were more
Be tapped.
talented musicians, I'd recommend we do something like
Haunted musicians.
no, more
Talented musicians.
talented musicians. We could do something by like maybe Ween, maybe like an HIV song.
An HIV
Oh.
song.
Yeah.
Why are there HIV songs? Out of
You've
curiosity?
never heard the HIV song by Ween?
Believe it or not, no, I've never heard the
No,
HIV
I
song.
haven't either.
Is it
But-
done in fun or is it serious?
It's in fun.
Oh, it's in fun.
I'm a little afraid to hear it.
The HIV. Are you folks at home familiar with the HIV song?
So, what do you guys have any New Year's resolutions?
I don't believe in them. I
Oh.
hate them.
I love them.
No, I hate them.
I love them.
Well, you know what? If you like them, I'm glad.
He
I
just
don't.
likes
I
him
think
because he's
it's a
trying
waste
to.
of time.
He
I don't mind
just
him.
likes him because he's trying to tee off Cena Senior.
well, no, Manikus Cena and I, we really don't have much of a relationship. I just disagree with him. That's all.
Yeah, it is weird. Like
What was John? I remember Johnny and I discussed it, but I'm so tired I don't
Your
remember.
your whole thing was, well, I don't understand why you have to wait till January 1st. Well,
Exactly. Why can't I start it tomorrow?
well, it's fresh and it's new January 1st. It's a new year.
December 27th is going to be fresh too.
It's just a day though.
So it's January 1st.
But January 1st is the beginning of a new year. It's bigger, Dan.
Quincy and
That's
Sonny
when John C
PTV
goes
show.
out in pounds.
What's that?
New Year's Eve. That's when
Plus,
he
I
goes
think
out
John
in
Cena
pounds.
Senior just doesn't want to lose weight or do anything hard. He just wants to talk to his children.
He's not.
Come on, how hard is it to talk to your children? It's easy. John Cena Senior. I don't know. I don't dislike the
You're
guy.
shooting on Johnny?
You like it when I do this. Look at the
You're
smile.
shooting?
Look at the smile. I think you like
Listen,
it when I go
The
heel a little
views
bit
of
on
Charlie
these shows.
Wilson do not express the views of Boston wrestling.
I'm just gonna
Thank
say,
you, John
I'm
C.
just gonna say this: if the fans could know about some of the dealings you've had with John Cena Senior, and what he's thought about some of the things, I think John Cena Senior is a bit of a chameleon. I think he's a very
Really?
smart man, but I think there's something behind that.
Like the North Carolina inside job.
I think there might be something to that.
Every time somebody
What
says,
about this Cam Zagami fella? Let's think about this. How he's treated Cam and how he's interacted with Cam. Don't you think that there might be a bigger problem there?
What do you think the problem would be?
Well, I think Cam is a pawn in Cena Senior's game.
I think he proved otherwise when he basically tossed him like garbage back at Memorial Hall.
That's what I mean.
With that attitude adjustment.
He was a pawn.
hold
and
on,
Wait a
Quincy covered Maneater last Thursday. I did not.
Well, we changed the verbiage of it a little bit because we started talking about Annie and we started going, oh, here she comes. Watch out for she'll eat you
Technically,
out.
she is a man eater.
Oh, here she comes. She's an ass eater.
She is a man eater, technically.
Yeah, just in a different way.
Yeah. Not that what that shouldn't be appalled. There shouldn't be appalled.
You know what impressed me? That Quincy sang along to ass eater.
I think
Usually, he'd be disgusted with me over
Marty.
something like that. Exactly.
Yeah.
He'd start yelling, but we must have got him in a good mood because he started singing ass eater.
one time we were together and I asked
You
I
and Rastani?
I said, you think I said, yes. And he looked at me. I said, Quincy, I know people talk about Annie the ass eater, but do you think that the mother, Mary, the mother of Jesus, ever ate some ass? And he, no offense to any Christians out
Oh,
there.
he must have went wild if he understood.
Well, I don't think he heard
Because
me.
there's a possibility that he had no clue what you were talking about.
I don't think he heard me.
But
exactly.
the thing is, I feel like if he had no clue what you're talking about, he'd just say, yeah.
I think he looked down at the ground for a little bit and kind of thought of it.
Remember the time he was here? You were talking about how you were in Vegas. I think it was you or me. We brought up a brothel. And he's like, what is that, a restaurant?
Oh, yeah, I think I said it was a soup. It was like a soup or something like that.
Oh, poor Quincy. Here we go. This is the semi-main event, believe it or not, folks.
Oh,
Nature Boy Ric Flair and Easy E,
that
Eric Bischoff.
was Goldberg and DDP. No, Goldberg, I'm sorry, Goldberg and DDP and Giant.
Oh, this was not considered the semi.
I think it was DDP and Giant. Oh, you're talking about...
I'm not talking about the positioning. I'm talking about
I say positioning.
You go by the positioning.
I go by
don't.
positioning.
I go by how it's promoted. But yeah, you guys.
Okay, what's the main event? Is it the main event's the biggest show, biggest match on the card, you think? Or is it the last match?
Yeah.
It's so when CM Punk said I wasn't the main event of WrestleMania, he was referring to him, and he was never the biggest match on the card.
No,
Even though he was referring to the last match on the card. He was never.
I don't think he was ever on the biggest. He was definitely not on last, but he was never the biggest match on a WrestleMania.
So to him, he feels that if he wasn't on last, it wasn't the main event.
I mean, Hogan and The Rock didn't go on last.
When you build your shows, do you put your biggest match on last?
Either right before intermission or last. 1 and 2 are going to be in one of those two spots.
But so if it's on before intermission, what do you put on last then?
Something pretty close to equal.
So these are your semi.
Yeah. I would put my second from the top on last if I put my main event on before intermission. If you put the main event on before intermission, there should be a reason for it.
Also, I had a question for you.
Yes, please.
So you talk about the terms of rats and bump cards. You know what's another, I heard recently, another word that was made up? Work rate. No one ever talked about work rate until the smart marks mentioned it in the 80s. I didn't know about this. But that sounds like a made-up word, kind of similar to
I think it's two words. But
made-up phrase.
Right?
Made-up phrase. Work rate. That sounds like something Meltzer would have came up with in 1985.
You know, that's interesting because good worker was always terminology that was used. But as far as the phrase work rate,
yeah. And I think work rate is a bit of a crappy phrase because a good worker to me is someone who gets the people. A good worker to me is someone who their stuff looks good. They get the people into their matches. The people buy into what they're doing. They could like Hogan. People would say he wasn't a good worker. Hogan was a good worker. People were into his stuff. He made his stuff appeal to people, and they got into it. So work rate, I think, is a bit of a term for the marks. You know, like again,
I'm honestly trying to think of the first time I ever heard it.
But were you? I mean, it wasn't when you were 8 years old at the Boston Garden. Someone saying, the Warriors' work rate is the shits.
Boston says Captain Lou spotted at the Blue Oyster tonight.
Really?
Where's the Blue Oyster?
In Boston. Wow.
What would you do if you saw
spies
Captain Lou
everywhere
in public? If you saw him at Shaw's, if you saw him at a restaurant, if you saw him,
it would be much different than how I would be to him here. Believe me.
You would go up
That's
to
his
him.
big worry, huh?
You would confront Captain Lou.
Of course I would.
You would confront him.
Yes.
What would you say to him? How are you?
No.
Good
I
to
really
see
don't
you?
give a fuck.
See, I feel like this is how it would
If you
go
saw
down.
Captain Lou,
He'd see you.
Probably call the police or his mother.
You'd have an angered look in your eye, and he'd bolt.
If you saw him, would you say hi to him, or you just?
I don't know. I think
I can't see you confronting him. You don't.
No, I wouldn't confront him.
John C's nice, unlike me and my injured back.
I would say
agony right
I don't
now.
want to.
Folks, the super chat button is open. Continue.
I would say hi to him.
I don't like starting
Welcome.
shit in public places. You know.
So you wouldn't say a thing to him. You just be like, "Eh."
I would probably just kind of avoid that aisle at Shaw's if I saw him.
It'd be easy to avoid with his size.
So you would basically you would back down. You would be like, whatever.
I don't think it's cowardly.
No, I'm not saying you're a coward. I'm just saying you'd back down. You'd be like, I'm just gonna take myself out of it.
You think if they folded him in half, he'd fit in one of the brown paper bags that they
I do think a physical fight between John C and Captain Lou would be entertaining. Because I think
my money would be on C.
I don't know.
I don't think I've ever fought before.
It's all right. You learn on the fly.
I think a fight between Dan Mirade and Captain Lou would be entertaining.
See, Lou would have the speed.
Yeah.
You're trying. This would almost be like a statue with arms trying to grab him. You know what I mean? There wouldn't be a lot of movement.
Yeah, it'd be like Andre against the
like
Warrior.
WrestleMania 3. Yeah.
Not even that. It would actually be like Andre versus. Oh gosh.
But if I got him,
it'd be like King Kong Bundy against Lord Littlebrook.
There'd be fucking birdseed everywhere. Let me tell you.
You wouldn't physically hurt him, I don't think. I don't think you would.
He'd hit him with his cane.
Be careful what you're saying.
Perhaps you could
at least in the shin.
YouTube, you were on live.
You'd whack him in the shin with your cane.
I think you would. Here's what I think would happen. You want to hear what I think?
Because I'd shoot. Believe me.
I'm shooting you because this is the truth.
All right.
You would see him, and it depends now. Does he see you or do you see him? And then you go like how does this work? If he sees you, I think he just doesn't say a word to you because he's just not going to confront you. But if you see,
Even though he says,
if he saw
even though he
you,
ends his emails,
if he saw
"Thank you, and
you
I hope all is
before
well."
you saw him, he would get away from that area. If you saw him before he saw you, you would walk up to him and say,
"Oh yes."
You would say, but you wouldn't. You would just say, "Well, I hope you're happy, and I hope you're happy with what you've done," and that's all you would say. I don't think you would confront him more than that.
Really?
I don't think so. I think because I think you're a guy. You would yell at him maybe like, "I hope you're happy."
I think how this would play out is you would go up to him, you'd go, "Captain Lou," and then
I'm disappointed, and you walk away. I just don't think you're that guy.
you'd wait for him to say something. I feel
Cost me a lot of money. He ruined an experience for the fans. He insulted Paul Bearer. He insulted the great talents we were
Well,
going
I
to
don't know
work
if he
with.
insulted Paul Bearer. I think you're reaching.
No, it was the Paul Bearer toy drive. He spit on. So
I don't think he looked at it like. I don't think it was
he
that.
didn't look at anything.
You
That's
know,
his problem.
I still don't get his reasoning though.
He's a pussy. He's a coward.
I'd say he's
piece of shit.
irresponsible.
He has no value as a human being. He has no experience. He has no work ethic. He has no skill. There's no quality to anything he does. And he has teeth the size of birdseed.
Lou, don't take this the wrong way, but you do not have a company. You have a website.
He couldn't even get the audio right for a camcorder shoot. If you heard the fans, I don't know if I mentioned this to you, CW, Butcher Lou Dater over the Kevin Sullivan interview.
Yeah,
And that bothered me because you remember that was where he was so grossly mistreated, was out in Las Vegas.
Yeah, no, there's over DDP, by the way.
What's that?
There's DDP being over.
Yeah, he's over.
He was over.
He was almost over.
He was over.
He was almost over.
He was
No,
over.
WCW, he was over.
He was over.
He resonated with those fans. I'll give him that. He wasn't my cup of tea, but he was.
I don't know if he was under the impression that the event would go on without you.
You put DDP. Sorry, John C. If you put DDP from '98 out today, he'd be the biggest star in the business.
Well,
or one of them.
He'd fare better today.
Chance wants to know what he was using for audio.
We brought two microphones from the two wireless mic kits from the studio that hooked up to the cameras. And you know what's remarkable? When I set them up for the Cauliflower Alley Club ceremony, thank God, the audio came through beautiful. When I left it to that imbecile to do it during the interviews with The Godfather and Kevin Sullivan and D'Lo Brown, it didn't even sound like he turned it on. He was too busy sitting in the mirror yawning.
Are you sure he
with his birdseed-sized teeth?
Are you sure he didn't just leave it set to one channel?
I don't know what.
Because if you leave it set to one channel, that's an easy fix. Although it makes the audio mono. But with a stick mic, that doesn't really matter.
No, it wasn't a stick mic.
There were lapels. If there were lapel mics, even less.
You know the wireless kits we have.
I've only ever used the stick ones.
Oh.
I don't think I've ever used the...
I love the finish of this coming match right here.
My good friend Chance would set me up if he was in Boston. Well, you're a good man, Chance. You're not a coward like Lou Dater that ruins a kid's toy drive. And I imagine you have larger teeth than birdseed.
I not to dwell even more, but I don't understand how you come to that decision.
What, that his teeth are the size of birdseed?
I don't think that was a decision. I think that's genetics.
Mother Nature, no pun intended.
Yeah, but
they never grew once they got out of the nest. Oh, his decision to not go?
Yeah.
I'll never understand it either. And then what's his immediate reaction? Let me block him on block him on text so he can't respond.
At least try to find a replacement. I know by the time
wait until it's over. Don't do it 8 days before you're set to leave. Have a little character and integrity as a human being. Is that what the Lous taught him as a child? Please. I have respect for the Lous, except for him.
Such a great song.
One of the big show, the Giant, I should say, one of his final appearances in WCW.
Oh, he was getting big too.
Looking very hefty here.
Very.
He was in great shape.
If you're NWO for life, you're in for a short life.
What's that?
I said if you're NWO for life, you're in for a short life.
Well, you're not wrong.
Did you like him with the long hair more than the
Yes.
short?
Yes.
Why is that?
He almost looked like a Bigfoot.
Well, he was losing his hair, I think, at that point. So it was.
No, he shouldn't have been smoking.
What?
Shouldn't have been smoking.
What do you mean smoking?
Smoked like a fiend. Not the fiend,
Cigarettes?
but yeah.
Yeah, it was a.
Maybe
that
other
make you
things
lose
too.
your
I
hair?
don't know, but I know he was a savage cigarette smoker in the day.
Oh, pages in his velvet pants.
I don't think smoking makes you lose your hair.
I don't think it helps.
I mean,
What do you think, Jolly? I don't know.
I may not help, but I will say this.
I'm in the pocket of big tobacco, so
yeah.
Oh, why are you in the pocket of big
No,
tobacco? Oh, you're
just
being
kidding.
funny. All right.
Oh, there's Mark Madden.
I like how Dan says birdseed teeth. All right, well, that's what he is. Like birdseed. When the tooth fairy used to come, they couldn't find anything under the pillow. They were too small. My teeth are the size of birdseed. I'm going to tell my mother.
it's libel.
Huh?
It's libel.
Talking about his birdseed sized teeth. See, David Chan knows. He started smoking at 14 and went bald at 23.
Who? Giant?
No, Shan.
Oh, okay. I think
think
they
he's
still
older
went
than
bald
23
in, like,
here.
Oh, was it 03 they shaved his head? 02, 03? Right around angles.
When they blew that dot at him, the dot, if I remember it right, I think it was the dot gun that did it in.
Was it 03, I think?
That was
His
I
hair
think,
fell
the
out when he
fall of 04.
Well,
Maybe
might be.
I think they might have cut it, unless I
It
remember
was short,
wrong.
and then they, yeah.
There's that horrible faction that Angle was in with Jindrak and Luther Reigns.
Yeah, I mean, and Angle was bald at that point too already. You know what's it's weird? They did that, and this is the one thing about hair matches. I just saw remember that hair match we watched? Was it Duke Hudson and Cameron Grimes back in NXT? And they shaved. I guess Duke Hudson's completely bald now, but he can grow his hair back out. So you give him like a couple months, he's gonna have short hair again, you know.
Yeah.
But I think if Roman lost a hair match, that'd be pretty big. They
That'd
wouldn't
be
do
big,
it.
yeah.
They wouldn't do it because they want him to have
that's
that
his
look.
You think DDP ever wanted to work at Starrcade with John Nord?
Well, I was gonna say before, you know, who would have actually benefited from a haircut, at least in the last few years? Ziggler,
You think so?
because that hair he's got makes him look very girly.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think you're wrong. I don't think it makes him look manly.
It doesn't inspire any. I mean, granted, Shawn Michaels had the same kind of hair.
At one point when he was with Guerrero, though, I think he kind of had a military style cut.
I like that.
They buzzed it down to a really short crew cut and they dyed it brown and then they got rid of it.
Yeah.
But he would do something. If he did something like that now, I think it would help him.
Would you say?
I liked what they did with the trash can there.
You like that spot? C likes the spots.
Yeah, see.
I don't know.
Let's see.
Smashing something will never not be funny to me. I don't know
That'll
what it
always
is.
be fun.
Giant looks blown already.
Smashing stuff and breaking glass.
Oh, he's so out of shape it isn't even funny. Yeah. I mean, he must have got on the gas real quick because he debuted less than 2 months later at St. Valentine's Day Massacre. I don't remember if this was his last appearance, but it had to have been one of them.
I mean, the way he debuted was interesting, but it kind of
That
sucked.
was a great debut. It was all
it sucked.
downhill from there.
Well, it sucked because he ends up making Austin the winner, even though he's not trying to. It was kind of a stupid debut in some ways.
Yeah, I'm going to throw a trivia question out to the fans. Should we do a prize where it's Christmas weekend?
Fuck him.
No prizes.
Let him have a prize.
Win a date with John C.
Yeah, that's a prize.
I'm trying to think, what could we give away for a prize? Or I'm just trying to think of something on the spot. Well, no, because I have a trivia question that popped into my head.
A bottle of this Fabo Pop, because I know it's worthless.
It's been sitting out here for a while. I don't know if we want to give that away.
It is worthless, though.
Why is it worthless?
I don't know. It probably tastes like crap.
Hot sauce is still good. Hot sauce never goes bad.
He sold a lot of it at the event.
The Fabo Pop?
Everybody was drinking it. Everybody wanted the Fabo Pop.
Oh, gosh.
Well, he autographed each one.
I autographed the pop, brother.
How much was he selling it for?
I wasn't there. I don't know.
That's true. I mean, if everyone had it, maybe that says something about how much you were charging for drinks,
And
Dan.
then his was a lot more than ours, but it was in a bottle, and he autographed it like good old CW said. What can we give away for a prize? I'm so tired I can't even think.
That's all for the raffle over there, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of something we could tie into this show, but there's slim pickings.
The Dead Sea Squirrels?
I don't think that would be one of the prizes.
What is this from? From the
I think some book company just sent it along with other books.
From the co-creator of VeggieTales.
Well, maybe you could do a read along, John, instead of a watch along.
I have to say I've never
Thank you.
read much
Would you like to do a read along?
spiritual children's novels.
Well, you know what? Let's see if someone gets it first. Without using Google, what name was the Big Show introduced as? What name was Big Show introduced as on WWF television?
I know it.
You do?
Is it the Big Nasty Paul White?
Yes, it was, as a matter of fact. I thought we were going to have a little fun. No, it was not. He got it. Did anyone else remember the Big Nasty?
Oh,
I'm glad they changed it.
Yeah.
They didn't want to confuse them with Knobs and Sags, I guess.
Yeah, that'd be too confusing.
The real Big Nasty, Brian.
Do you think you'll ever have
bodyguard.
them back in studio, the Nasty Boys?
What's that?
Do you think you'll ever have them back in studio?
I mean, that wasn't their fault.
Or
But the
Beef?
toilets weren't working.
I know Beefcake probably never come
Overall,
back.
that was a bad day in general. I thought Sags' interviews were fantastic.
Yeah.
Knobs was just in bad shape physically. Cecil had to bodyguard him pissing off the side of the loading dock. The issues with Socko, the issues with it was just a rough day.
Yep.
I guess the best way I'll sum it up is I'd like to do more interviews with them.
What about Beefcake? I know you don't want to have back. Demolition Axe? Well, he'll be
He'll be back in April.
You know what's funny, actually, speaking of April, the weekend of that show, the April 16th show, the Red Sox are playing the Twins that whole weekend.
Are they really?
Friday to Monday.
God.
Friday, Monday, they're playing the Twins. I looked at the schedule the other day. I'm like, wow, that's interesting.
Well, maybe Sunday afternoon. John Nord can finally make it to Fenway.
No, do you think they'll take it next year? Take it all?
The Red Sox?
Yeah, they
I
came
doubt
pretty
it.
close this year, didn't they?
Nah, I think if anything, it'll decline a bit unless they have some surprises up their sleeves. Don, he didn't endear himself to our wonderful production staff that we have.
Unlike John Nord, who was fantastic. by the
Yes.
way.
Just you didn't get the impression that he really cared or wanted to be here.
Well, quick question.
I didn't think the interviews were that bad. I don't know if you've ever seen them. but
Demolition Axe, the last time he was here was last spring, right?
May.
So will he be coming back this year, you think?
Well, he's going to be here in April for certain. Yeah.
Well, for interviews or
Yeah.
Okay.
On the Friday.
Oh, he'll be here Friday.
We're going to have Axe, Smash, and Nord on the Friday.
Together?
Are there,
No,
are, there
at
any,
different
are there
times.
any possible signings for that show? I know we haven't talked about it in a little bit. You know, you have Jake.
We have the 4 that are advertised. Yes, I have 2 more I think that are pretty much locks.
Can we take a guess on here? Can we
I
talk,
don't even want to go there.
Can we talk and you and I talk post show?
Oh, yes. Demolition Smash is going to be back with us in April, Mike. You got that to look forward to, both at the live event and here in studio.
Will 6 be enough? We'll be good with 6.
No,
You want to have more?
I want to have my 8, like I promised the fans originally,
Okay.
because we are men of our word here in the world of
Let me ask
Boston
you this.
wrestling.
If it was just the 6 that you had, better car than November? Compare the 8 in November or the 7 in November to what you have in 6 if you have it
With
right.
what we wound up with in the end,
Yes.
probably.
Okay. And that's being generous.
My thing is, when we can't give the fans what we promised them, it kills me. So I want 8. And then if we have guys from other eras that have star value, that's cool too. But I want 8 80s legends, stars, however you want to
And
classify
you have 6
them.
locked right now.
We have 4 locked. We have 2 that I think are probably both 95% there. It's just the Christmas thing was going on.
Yep.
I have another that I think is
50-50.
pretty close, and another one that I would probably just say like what you just said, 50-50.
Okay.
So we're pretty close to wrapping it up. I would love to have Hacksaw Jim Duggan with us, but I don't know what his
health
issue is, not his issue, but what his health is going to be like come April.
Maybe Duggan
and we have
could
to
be
have
used.
Mrs. Duggan with us too.
Maybe Duggan could be used something later in the year or next year.
I don't think the Nasties would fit the theme of the 80s, Don.
Oh, I think they would.
The Nasties?
They
What
had
did
a run
do
in the 80s.
80s?
The AWA.
I mean, even
That's cheating.
by what we're trying
No, they
to...
did though. They were in the AWA.
He's not wrong. But to me, it's more like... I don't even think we could advertise 80s WWF reunion, but more along the lines of that. Nord, to me, is even a stretch with what we're trying to present. But, you know, it was a big chunk of his career was the 80s. You know, he had a decent run in the 80s. He was a top guy in the 80s.
I mean, really, when you break it down, he broke in 83, 84.
Maybe 84, but
Yeah.
maybe 83. Yeah.
And by the time 93 comes around, he was kind of at the end of his major run. I mean, he went to WCW a little bit later on, but really, by the time he got released in 93, that was pretty much the end of his major run. You know?
Yeah.
You know, so.
You know, I've spoken to Jim Cornette Boston, and it's just, you know what? He's so content making so much money sitting at home. Very great conversations. He used to work for the Boston Bad Boy Tony Rumble, so I had known him from there, and we talked old WWF times where we had so many mutual friends in the office, and it's pretty much that simple. He doesn't like to fly, and he's making a boatload of money sitting in his home.
I wonder how much money he makes per episode of his podcast.
I'd love to know.
He's got 2, and they're both great. I don't listen to all of them, but I here and there.
Hey, Don, let me tell you, if there was ever a way to figure it out, I'd love to make it happen. I think we'd have a lot of fun in the studio. We'd have a lot of fun at the events. You know, he's a quote-unquote pro wrestling guy, in my opinion. So I don't know how that would resonate with some of the current fans that don't like him because of his views, but whatever it may
Cornette?
be. Yeah.
If you don't think Cornette has anything valuable to give to wrestling, you probably don't know anything about wrestling.
Why? What are his views on wrestling?
They're fairly traditional, but I think in today's world, it would help. Oh, good angle.
Yeah.
Good, yeah. But that's.
And he complained about what Goldberg did to him the next year. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I was going to say we could watch Starrcade '99 for the trifecta, but.
Oh, Big Show. Look at that. No selling the chair shot to the head. That's always good. Take an unprotected chair shot, not even have it be the finish.
Oh, I remember this.
Well, Road Warrior Hawk, it was not.
Oh, no, well, it wasn't. Oh.
He looks like he's headed up north again. Thinks he's rolling Snook up there on the top. Another clothesline. Oh, wait a minute. Is the Giant going to feel the bang? We're not talking about Laurie Bischoff. Nope, he's going up to the top.
Or the energy
What
drink?
about Laurie Bischoff?
Well, it's a very friendly neighborhood.
Have you ever had a Bang energy drink, Charlie?
Oh, right in front of the ref?
We're not talking about energy drinks.
I am.
I know you are, but that's not what old
Look
CW
at-
and I are talking about.
Look at Paige.
This would be a
Oh,
good
great finish. Love that finish. Diamond cutter out the
that
choker.
new variation. Listen to Mike.
That's a cool finish, so you have to admit that's a cool finish.
It was a good,
Yeah,
yep,
I
good
like that.
transition.
When I first watched that, I had no idea that was coming.
Tonight you did.
No, I did, but I remembered it. And he's so stylish. He wrestled in a big hoop area, and I love that.
Now, have you talked to my good friend Nick Connor?
Me? Oh,
yes.
yeah. Not
Or
really,
is he
no.
gone already?
No, Christmas was yesterday. There's no way he's gone already.
Well, you said it was a short visit.
I never said that. I said he's back from school.
Oh, is that what you said? Well, that was my second guess. I wanted to make sure you remembered it right. Miss Kyle still banging the drums across the street from Cecil's house?
When he's not at school, I'm sure. He may have better soundproofing now.
You think they got soundproofing for him?
Well, I mean, now that he's going to school for it, he'll probably want to, practice more.
How do you soundproof a bedroom, I wonder?
There's ways of doing it.
Do you have to put like styrofoam up or?
No, there's like the stuff that's on the doors over there. You can just buy that.
What is it? I don't. Oh,
The foam.
well then.
That's sometimes, believe it or not, a rug can help.
Do you think John Cena Sr. is soundproof?
Speaking of Wrestling Challenge with Quincy, is Iron Sheik on any of those shows?
He's been on some of them, yeah. And
What
I've
does
tried to
Quincy think about
explain
the
to the-
Sheik?
He doesn't. Yeah.
Doesn't?
He doesn't.
Did he meet Sheik?
Huh?
I felt like he met the Sheik before. Him and the Sheik would be great.
They've been in the same venue. I know they've been to Kowloon together. I just don't think.
What do you think, Quincy? If Quincy talked to Iron Sheik about Jesus, what would he say?
You tried to convert the Iron Sheik.
You tried to
don't
convert
know.
the Iron Sheik to Christianity?
He might.
Oh, this was a.
Quincy, I don't know if you've noticed, he leads off challenge with a prayer.
Oh, God.
You didn't know that.
Terry Taylor.
What the hell was Terry Taylor doing? Oh, yep, there he is.
I still don't think this was a bad angle. It's just after the fact. This is what.
So in this company, what?
So here's this deal, John C.
Uh,
Goldberg was undefeated, and within his first year of wrestling, he became not only WCW United States champion, he became WCW World Heavyweight Champion by defeating the great immortal Hulk Hogan.
No, I was gonna ask why all the people with hair in this company look like different variations of Iggy Pop.
Oh, okay. I think so. That's a good point. Well, Iggy Pop never really looked that good initially. But,
That's true.
you know. But I think this was a good angle, Dan, but just the finger poke of doom ruined it. And Goldberg's injury ruined
I
it.
just think it was too soon for him to lose. He was too hot.
How long would you have gone with it? A year?
Until something started to slip.
I think Nash was at least a good choice for him to lose, too. Nash was over. Better than Hogan. It was going to be either him or Hogan. I think DDP would have been a good choice, too, if they'd done a rematch.
No.
I think DDP, if DDP had wrestled Goldberg in maybe February or March or April of '99 and they did a rematch 6 months later after Halloween Havoc, that would have been a good choice. And he was over like Rover.
So is this the main event?
This is the main event, John.
This is the last match, yes. Main event.
Don the Barber, where did the Sheik go on a Christmas rant on Hogan? Was it on Twitter? If it was, I hate to tell you, break the news, it wasn't the Sheik that wrote it.
No, it wasn't. People have been talking about that, but it wasn't him.
I thought he was nice towards Hogan now. I don't know. Mike Burkhoff loves Quincy's religious views.
After Hogan humbled himself
He humbled himself.
with the video.
No. John Nord was not happy with the discussion of the humbling.
Really?
John was a little. Did you see? To me,
Well,
you have to watch the little trailer of the lead into the episode where I told John that the Sheik wanted to humble him, and John just kind of looked down and said, "I don't know what you mean." So I explained it to him.
I don't know what you mean, Dano.
Oh no! I eventually. Are you talking about that filthy shit I think you're talking about? And I said, well, he wanted to anally violate you, John. Oh, God!
John C.
We don't talk like that in this. Go back. That's so Iranian.
Kevin
Go
Nash.
back to your country, Con. I know there's not much left of you, but I'm going to knock the shit out of you if I see you again.
Well, he did tell that story about what the Sheik did to him in that
When
airport.
he planted drugs on John Nord.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Kevin Nash has my ideal hair.
You think John Nord's hair was ever that straight? Or
I
you
don't
think it
think
was
so.
more like John C's? John's got kind of a berserker look tonight, doesn't he?
John in his younger years, could you grow a beard at all?
Hmm?
Can you
No.
I was gonna say, if you're able to grow a beard, maybe you could be like a young berserker and come in and go.
Clean
Not
people.
only do I refuse to,
Yeah.
if I do, it's just like
Since this
Could you-
show
could
has
you-
sucked so much, the fans deserve a treat for sitting through this with
This
us.
show?
Yes.
This has been a good show. This is a solid 7.
Well, you know what? I want to sit through the main event.
You just hate
before
it because it had
officially
Jerry
say it.
Flynn on the show.
Well, you
and
might
that-
not be wrong.
it comes up like here, but it stops here and continues like right around
So
here.
Cheese beard.
So you can just grow a goatee. Is that it?
No, because it's not even like complete because it's not like here.
So can you grow this? Because I can grow a full beard. If
And
I,
then like here, there's like patches,
okay,
and like here,
yeah.
and like it's patchy as hell.
Dan, can you grow a full beard?
Look at him.
Yeah,
Probably by tomorrow.
yeah. I can grow a full beard, which I'm not a big beard person, so.
Yeah, neither am I.
John Nord does not want to be humble.
What's
And
that
then John
random-
Nord does his own Sheik imitation.
What's that random child doing back there? That was a plant. That child was placed there. For
Guys,
people.
if you want to laugh, I'm going to say it's about. I'm going to wait for it to pop up in a sec.
Ja Nord does not want to humble.
But Nord trying to imitate the. I don't know.
Dan, have you had more drinks? What did you just type?
What did I say?
JOHH Nord does not want to humble.
Oh, John Nord does not want to humble.
Does not
Charlie still hasn't grown pubic hair yet. Well,
I actually have.
I'll
actually
take your word for it.
I actually have.
I think the fans should hear this.
And this has been a good show, I think.
No, it's not as good as what's coming up.
Ted it downs.
Thank you, John C. John C's. Oh, wait, let me mute this one.
It's really low latency.
Here we go. Have you heard or seen this yet, Charlie?
No.
Oh, well, in Iran, I guess it's a form. You know, he used to be the bodyguard for the Shah. Part of their religion and their punishment is it's not considered a homosexual act if you're the one taking it. As opposed
Is that
to
true?
Yeah.
He used to do
Brian
it.
Blair, Hulk Hogan,
He
Jake
fucks people in
Roberts,
the
there was a select list that he wanted to make humble. He thought that was the ultimate form of revenge on what happened in
what
Canada.
I'm thinking is
He
that
wanted-
dirty shit.
He wanted to anally violate.
That is so fucked up. That is so wrong. That is so Iranian. Go back to the fucking country, Todd. If you're gonna talk like that and act that, I heard you say
Look at
that
your
once,
face.
actually. Oh, Banderopa, and Meckle humble. Oh yeah.
Good thing I cut
yeah,
back to
real
you on
good
that.
talk. We don't do that in America here. We try to keep it clean. No, we're not clean all the time. We're human. But we don't do your filthy shit. If I see you,
When he runs out of breath, it's the
you know I get.
filthy.
There ain't much left of you, I know that. Okay? And I got a lot of injuries myself.
Oh, we got a
Got
super
enough to
chat
knock you out for a second.
from
Okay?
Chance.
Thank you for joining us. Oh, Chance, thank you. I didn't even look.
So there's a quick question. He actually
Oh.
raped men, Iron Sheik?
It was a legal punishment over there.
So what
Is
would he
the
do? What would the guy
punishment-
be? The guy would sit in the what would he do?
I don't know the positioning, but
Wait, Iron Sheik had sex with men?
it was part of his job.
So he would anally insert himself into other men?
He'd rape them.
He's a rapist?
Yes.
Fucking A, fuck the Iron Sheik.
But again, to state it completely fair, so there's no
He's a
internet
rapist
headline that
for
comes out of
hire.
it.
Jeez.
No,
Who
he
told
worked
you
for
that?
he worked for basically the president of Iran,
Yeah, the Shah.
and it was a form of punishment if
Did
you
they
broke
use
a law.
lubrication?
I never asked him that part.
But wait,
I
did
never
he
even
enjoy-
expected to know anything
How
about
many
it.
men did he rape?
Lots.
He told you that?
Thank God.
I thought that was a gimmick. I'll make you
Thank
humble.
God
I'll
Al
fuck you in
Qaeda
the
got
ass.
rid of that guy.
I thought that was a gimmick.
Oh, my stomach hurts.
I
right
thought
now.
that was a gimmick, Dan.
No.
He was a rapist?
Yes.
Oh my God.
But it was legal and it was his job.
So that doesn't make it right to rape?
Well, that'd be like saying, I sold weed in the United States where it was legal, and then I went to a different country and it was
are
illegal.
not the same thing.
I think
But
it's
it
I
was
think it's more
punishment.
like saying I worked at a concentration camp. But
Wow. So how many of the chicas raped?
Lots.
How long did they go on? 5 minutes?
Years.
Would he?
Not each session, but I mean, I don't know if they were all lined up one by one or
Was it one rape a day?
I don't know.
Was he ejaculating himself? Would he wear a condom?
I don't know.
I'd hope
We never really went. Maybe I should have got more in depth with them about it.
Would
but
he be sucked off or filleted?
No, he'd humble them.
He kept
Because
him-
other than
he
that, it was
able to get
against their
hard? He
religion.
was able to get hard for it?
He had to.
It makes me think he might be a homosexual or half and half.
Part of the job was to, depending upon the crime, make the.
Do they still do that?
I don't know.
I don't think you know that much about the history.
John C knows about making people humble. Wait a minute.
You did not piss off the Shah, you know?
I knew he didn't do that, but I didn't know that they raped men. I thought they just did corporal punishment.
Well, that's what happens when you piss off the Shah.
I don't know.
John Nord apparently didn't think it was a suitable form
I thought it was
of
a gimmick. I
punishment.
thought he'd say, "I make you humble." Ha ha ha. Well, there's that clip of him and Hogan from the match where he drops the belt to Hogan with the erection. Maybe he was thinking about his days of being the Shah's bodyguard.
With all the drugs and the booze in that man, God only knows.
He didn't have any booze in him until he came to the States, though. He was
And
clean
to be fair,
until the late 70s. I think he was clean.
even when he was in the AWA, he was as clean as a whistle.
Up
It
until
wasn't
maybe
he went
78.
till no, it was long before that. Mid-South was when his wife said that was the end.
What year was that?
82-ish when he got hooked up. Nothing against our good friend Bob Orton, but that crew, that's what got him into.
So, but pre-82,
medicine
he was
and-
clean as a whistle.
God, it's
Probably
fucked
up until I'd say 80, 81. Even his first run in WWE is Hussein Arab in the late 70s.
See, I thought it was up. I thought once he started the Sheik character, that's when it started.
Well, he was Hussein Arab in the late 70s, so. I don't think the gimmick had anything to do with it. I just think it was the guys he was hanging around with down there that got him into it.
And it started off with some beer and some weed, and it kind of escalated.
That's one way to put it.
But I love that. I don't put anything in my drugs, but I don't put any drugs in my body, but I will rape men in the name of Allah.
Chance, thank you for saying
Say it,
that.
Rob.
Thanks to all the
Allah.
hosts and the moderators. If we
probably
didn't
sounded
have
like
all
that.
these great people helping us out, we couldn't
Persia.
do these watch-alongs. I can't wait for January 9th when I'm not here. I almost feel like the parents in Home Alone. I'm leaving the kids in the house.
I
It's
feel like you're
gonna
going to
be
leave the
fun.
show early. To
Huh?
come. I feel like you're going to end up leaving the show early to come here.
You think I'm going to be that nervous?
Yes.
The Sheik humbled Captain Lou. Well,
You do not. Please tell me you do not want to see the Sheik humble Captain Lou.
I think the Sheik would be confused by the size of his teeth. I don't know. You might think it was medicine. It's so small.
I literally
grains
up until 5
grains of
minutes ago-
medicine.
Up until 5 minutes ago, I thought this was all a gimmick. Now I don't know what to think.
That's what he did.
What did you say when he told you this? You must have been terrified.
I didn't understand it at first. Then once he explained it, then I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yes.
And then after about,
And you consider this man a friend. You're friends with a rapist.
but it was, they would have killed him if he didn't do it.
That is true. Well, is it really? They
Yes.
didn't kill him? Maybe they would just fired him.
That's why he left the country.
He was just done raping people?
No, they brought him out to the desert, to a ditch, and his cousin was laying there with an ice pick in his head. He has 2 sons in Iran that he hasn't seen in 50 some odd years.
You never brought them over?
They never came over with him.
Wonder why.
That I don't know.
I mean, it's not like he can go back to get him.
He could never go back
Yeah.
the way he left.
Is he still in Atlanta?
Outside of, yeah.
Was it Marietta, I think?
Oh, we got another.
It's
is that
outside
another
of-
one?
I think he lives in Benoit's
Yeah, it's
old
another super
neighborhood.
chat.
It was the same city. And Paul Wendorf when Paul was still with us.
Another super chat.
Oh, cool.
From,
What, about
Chance.
Lou? That the Sheik
Oh, yeah,
humble
yeah,
Blue
okay,
Daddy?
you
Yeah,
read
we
it, you read
talked
it.
about
Okay.
that. Chance is the man tonight. And folks, you still have the chance to match Chance to help us bring you the Berzerker John Nord live January 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. We got to pay John. We got to fly John. We got to put John up. We got to
Wait, when is this?
22nd, 23rd, 24th.
Of April?
January.
January.
You didn't know John Nord was coming back so soon?
No.
Well, surprise, fucking surprise. Just Incredible's coming back to talk more ECW. We have a brand new Wrestling Insider series we're going to be debuting in early 2022 that I believe you and I spoke of.
Yeah.
Did I not tell you about I think I was in New York
You told me about
when
the
I brokered that,
You told me about this danger zone.
or whatever we may call it. The great thing about those trips is where I have so much time, I probably communicate with more people than I ever have.
Why is that?
I just have more time to be on the computer. I have more time to text. I have more time
On the plane?
On the plane, on the train, because I got to take trains when I get there, and it's not the easiest day. Chance, believe me, brother, we want to get Marty back. I know Charlie is itching to get Marty back, where they've become such close personal friends. What's that?
I want to get Marty back.
How far?
You want to party with Marty?
How far are we from getting Marty back?
Well, we're at about 20%. Let me just check.
I think Marty will come back by the summer. I think Marty's here sometime in May or June, I guess. Maybe July.
I'm going to put it right here for you, though, Chance. I know maybe you may have mentioned it earlier, but the Marty Indiegogo.
And there's a lot more with Marty. I mean, we're still at 91 with Marty.
Yes, there's a lot of time to go.
We're not even at post Rockers yet.
Yeah. But I mean, you know what? At the same time, I had this conversation today with someone in the wrestling world, and Marty has to take some responsibility for some of the things he's done too. And I'm more than willing to be flexible. I'm not out to, I want Marty's life to be a good life, but again, I don't want him to fuck us over in the process.
Right.
And I think when you ruin 3 days of television tapings because of your problems, you got to be a little flexible. You know what I mean?
Who are you talking to?
Who was I talking to today?
Were they a wrestler?
A 80s WWF legend. Thank you, Chance. Like I said, if everybody donated $1 that watches the show, do you know how quick we'd get that goal met? It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's maybe the one thing that frustrates me.
Reminds me of one of my favorite sayings. It's easier to get $1 from 1 million people than $1 million from one.
So the
not in this case, but
the $100 group.
Yeah.
Now would that be at the Kowloon?
I wouldn't want to say on the air because we wouldn't want people not involved to show up.
What do you mean? What the 100?
One of the prize. We have many prizes to go along with this Indiegogo campaign. We're not just looking for a handout. We're going to give back.
So what's one of the prizes?
One of them is a dinner with Marty.
That's
All
a prize?
expenses paid. Now what?
That'd be more like a punishment. That's more like a Shah of Iran kind of
You
punishment.
think you should make someone humble at the dinner?
Marty?
Yeah.
He's probably
Chance, brother, if you want to order a pizza for us and have them send it down from Domino's or anywhere around here, brother, we'll give you the address. 360 Main Street, Melrose, Mass. The zip code of champions, 02176.
Great. Someone's going to send an assassin.
No, not tonight, though. It's too late. What's that?
Yeah, we're probably out of here in the next like, 15 minutes.
Wait a minute. He's having a little trouble with Kevin. Referee Mickey J right there to make sure the shoulders are down. But we appreciate the sentiment, Chance. Do you guys still miss Socko? I spoke to him today as well. He was at the Chargers-Jets game at MetLife Stadium. Savio Vega like spin kick from
How's he doing?
He's alive.
Yeah, man.
No, he's all right.
Hey, my boy Disco. See, this should have been an automatic DQ.
Dairy Queen?
But maybe they look at it like he didn't touch Goldberg. Goldberg hit him.
That would be, if I was going to structure it, physical contact would have to, like, this should be a disqualification.
Yeah.
Unless this match is a no DQ and we just haven't heard it.
It might have been a no DQ. I'm not sure.
Bam Bam's all dressed up.
And they did a little program of Bam Bam and Goldberg.
They did. I thought he was a great opponent for Goldberg.
But they didn't really build him up.
I thought he was a very credible opponent for Goldberg.
I love it. I loved it. I feel like
It just
Kevin
walked-
Sullivan and I would argue about this, but I'm like, you know what? It got over. Look at the people.
That's like not even a taser. That was like a cattle prod.
It was a cattle prod. You're right. Yeah.
Why does event staff have a cattle prod?
How did they not know it was Scott Hall just wearing the shirt? And then he goes up and he comes down. And
Well,
there we go, ladies and
Ken,
gentlemen.
if you're a member of the Patreon in the area, you can come down and meet John Dodd, the Berzerker, live on January 22nd. Costs nothing for all of our great Patreon folk. We appreciate you so much. Sweet. Who remembers Goldberg? We all remember Goldberg. We were just talking about the Job Squad
I
a little
don't.
earlier tonight. You don't remember Goldberg?
No.
I remember Goldberg. For life. Well, I'm going to give a ranking of the show. I'm going to say solid 7.
Real? Now, why? What? Out of
Oh, a
curiosity,
whole
why
number
a
tonight.
7?
Huh?
An integer tonight.
I'll make a 6.8.
Okay.
But I'll make a 6. Honestly, it was a pretty decent show. I liked it. I like late 90s WCW. And I think this was a good. See, Goldberg's like, I got to leave the ring. I'm like, Goldberg, go talk to Nash. But anyway, I thought it was a good match. I mean, the Jerry Flynn match I couldn't care about, but everything else I thought was pretty decent.
Even the woman Smiley, I mean, that didn't belong on the show.
No,
and
Flair and Bischoff was meh. I'll go with a 6.5. It's not any worse than some of the pay-per-views we watched, like SummerSlam 90.
I told you, I wound up liking that one more.
It's got tape over it.
SummerSlam 90 has a better main event.
He pointed at the camera. It's
I
got
think
duct
Warrior,
tape
I think
all
Warrior
over.
Rude in the cage was better than this match.
I just think the reason this was the beginning of the end. This was the beginning of the end.
Yeah,
It was.
And here's the crazy thing. 2 years after this, they were on death's door.
Oh, yeah.
2000?
I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay. I'll give it a
Jesus, you're being
6.5.
very generous, John. I would say
I mean, I didn't see the first.
I'm
two.
a half and half. I'll go with my halves.
Whatever.
to be honest, I'm going to go with a 5
All right.
because there were a couple of matches I thought were pretty good.
What do you guys say?
There was just, you know what, for their big event of the year, there was too much fluff that didn't belong on the biggest show of the year, that had no build-up, no interest. And 2, like I said, the beginning of the end, having Goldberg lose.
Well, what do
You guys, real quick, before John C. Hits the disconnect button, what do you give the show on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 worst, 10 best. My favorite pie, Chance, I like extra cheese with very, 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 very light sauce. If there's a lot of sauce on it, I won't eat it.
That's oddly specific.
Light.
I like light amount of cheese, a regular cheese, if anything. I used to take the cheese off the pizza actually, and but I good amount of sauce, and I like chicken on it.
Like a little chicken on you.
Chicken and bacon's good. That's me.
The Cesare gave it a 5. Mike Burke Coffin with the 4.
Jeez.
And we're not going to commentate over what we're watching right now, but dear Lord, just a year later, the Russo era has begun. Dave Carter, it's too bad he wasn't here. He could tell us how great all this is. Oklahoma. Ah!
Oh, did you see that slam pig?
Horse face.
All right, Dano, you think we're going to be able to wrap this up here?
I'm waiting to get the big clap from my good friend John C. Reilly. For all of you fine folk, we have another big week ahead. We'll be back with Oscar with Monday Night Mission after Monday Night Raw tomorrow night, along with tomorrow afternoon, a special preview of this Thursday's Wrestling Insiders Throwback Thursday with the Berzerker John Nord. So stay tuned to our social media. Stay subscribed to us on YouTube. The Patreon streaming service is always open 24/7. Patreon.com/Boston Wrestling for early, ad-free, full-screen access. For John C. Manikus Reilly, who enjoyed his first Starrcade, for the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, Mr. Charlie Wilson. I'm unfortunately still Dan Mirade. Until we speak, folks, be well, be healthy, enjoy the holiday week. Good night from Boston.
Everybody, have a good night and be safe and have a happy new year. We'll see you next Sunday, and I'll let you know about the next show in a couple days or so. I'll think about it. I got a few ideas.
Well, we like that.
Good.
Good night from Boston.
Good night.
As it takes Manikus